East Bank. Debris in the right lane, 24 eastbound near Spring Street, Ellington Parkway. Rivergate, a crash. That's going to be Rivergate Parkway at Gallatin Pike. Complete stop-and-go brake tapping now. Eastbound South Loop over to 65, northbound 65 up to the South Loop. In fact, it is like a parking lot at times from west of downtown to east of downtown on 40 going eastbound. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome in, one and all. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day and another week. Happy Monday to you. Hope your day's going well so far. It's officially the midst of the afternoon, 3:07. Proud to be with you on this May 11, 2026, in the year of our Lord. It is episode 1034 of these broadcasts together on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And I've been here for every single one of those. I don't count the ones that I'm not here for. That's what the countdown is all about. You can find us on a variety of platforms. Obviously, we're on the radio dial, 99.7 FM, from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. You can also locate us on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, 3 of the various platforms that you'll find us on. We're everywhere, man. We're on our own app, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Take us wherever you'd like to go on your smartphone or your laptop technology. And then, of course, there's Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. If you would like to watch the radio show in its entirety, for you masochists in the listening audience, you can see my fetching gray polka dot shirt. You may do so by tuning in. Tune in to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Let me introduce the players of the show. As we've already noted on the YouTube broadcast, Jackson Williams not here. It's our understanding he's been incarcerated. We don't know that that's the case, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume it.
Well, if that is the case, Matt, you can't use him as your nincompoop today.
I don't know. I don't know. If I get details, baby. I got a pretty good nincompoop today. You feeling good about yours there? RJ's at the controls, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sound as good as humanly possible. Hello, RJ.
Hey there, Matt. And I will say, I've got a doozy of a nincompoop for you, so I can't wait to share it.
I got a pretty good one. Ken Weaver's back there in News Closet B. Ken, what's going on, brother?
How about you boys?
You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
I had a conundrum, and I've forgotten my conundrum. I was going to ask you. Oh, I know what the conundrum is.
Yes, sir.
So, fellas, so I happened by the old mailbox there downstairs. Y'all been down there lately?
I haven't been down there in a day.
Hey, RJ, you ever been to the mailroom?
I have been downstairs, never the mailroom.
Yeah, most of the correspondence happens via email around this company, as it does in most others. And, I got something from the police department.
Oh?
It says report immediately.
Jackson's being Martin Luther King. He's sending letters from jail.
Letters from a Gulf Shores jail. Dearest Mr. Murphy, I would like to inquire as to whether or not you have $380 for my bail. Thank you. Watch out for those Orange Beach sex holes, y'all. They'll come up and get you. Someone from the Tracy City. That's very loud. No, my conundrum is as follows. All right, see this right here?
Yes.
It's addressed to me, but it says Dan on the outside of the package. It is addressed to me, but then on the package it says Dan in big letters.
Maybe it's from Dan.
So the conundrum is, should I open it?
Sure.
That didn't sound like much of a conundrum. Yeah, I was going to open it anyway, Ken, but I
knew you were, Brother Murphy.
I just wanted somebody else involved.
Murphy does not strike me as the type of guy who says, well, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Like, I just want to be able to say when somebody goes, oh, you opened my mail. I was like, well, Ken told me to.
We got a Matt Murphy unboxing video on the YouTube stream.
Oh, this is great. Look at there. Isn't that nice? That's a book by John Kennedy, United States Senator. And the title of the book is How to Test Negative for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will. Now, I don't know why this was addressed to me, but I wonder if Dan's got him scheduled for an interview. That's my first thought, is that Dan has him scheduled for an interview. But I need a copy of the book so I can.
I'm going to have to get the book.
I'm going to have to get the book so I can do some research. And now I have the book, and he will never get a copy of the book because I'm going to take that home. There you go. So that's those unboxing videos on YouTube. People love them.
Oh, yeah. They go crazy.
Not so much for me, but not for me, but people love them. Hey, we're invited to a going away party, guys.
Yeah, Madison.
Yeah, young Madison.
Going back to Idaho.
Going on back to your neck of the wood. You were up there for a hot minute there, Ken Weaver.
I was up there for 10 years.
Uh-huh. And there's got a going away party. I just I saw this, and I went down and I expressed my displeasure.
Yeah.
For the group, because I don't care for it.
Yeah, I don't like her leaving.
Well, I don't like her leaving.
She's a joy.
She is a delight to be around, and she's been absolutely fabulous in the promotions department. Top notch.
Yes.
And so we don't like that part of it, but I also don't like this. You know what time this party is, Ken?
Oh, it says 5 o'clock.
5 p.m., uh-huh.
Well.
And she said, well, I put the come anytime just for you guys because I know y'all are on the air. I was like, no. I've done enough of this crap to know how this works. Everybody goes over there at 5, has a couple of drinks. Everybody's leaving by 7:15 when we get there. Nobody wants to stay. They're like, oh, well, we'll stay. And so they're just standing around waiting on you to finish a beer so they can leave. No, I'm not. Also, you notice anything wrong with this, Ken?
Well, Idaho's in the wrong direction.
That's what I said. It's like, that's not the way to Idaho.
Yeah, it's the moving van is heading northeast.
If
Needs
you
to
go
be going northwest.
If you go that way, I think you're going to hit Delaware.
Yes, sir.
Or perhaps Rhode Island or the Atlantic Ocean. But we'll miss Madison either way.
Absolutely, man.
One way or the other. Hey, y'all have a good weekend, by the way, while we're in the pleasantries mode. Everybody have a good weekend?
Had a great weekend.
Had a pretty solid weekend.
Yeah? I mean, what do you mean pretty solid? That doesn't sound too good, RJ.
Mostly just kind of saving money, staying home, and getting stuff done.
Let me tell you something, young man. When you get to Ken Weaver and I's age, that is a perfect weekend. Is that not a perfect weekend?
I basically enjoy the punishments of my teenage years.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Which was
not
being able to go anywhere.
That's right. I was a little down in the back, Ken, if you want to know the truth about it.
Were you really? Again?
Oh, yeah, a little down in the back.
Dude, you got to stop lifting stuff.
Well, that's how that works. But managed to go on Saturday to beautiful Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Has anybody?
It's a great place.
Been to beautiful Bell Buckle? Now, I had been through Bell Buckle on my motorcycle. I stopped for gas at the gas station right near downtown Bell Buckle. And
I love it.
Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But had never been there, but ate at the Bell Buckle Cafe, Ian, I did.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
That's a meeting 3 right there, boy.
That is some fine eating. And you better get on the wait list as soon as you get.
Yes.
Here's the way they do it, though. They put you on the wait list, and then they invite you, go see some of the beautiful shops of downtown Bell Buckle.
Right.
And we'll text message you when your table is ready.
Right.
I mean, that's civilized right there.
Yes.
That was me and the wife on Mother's Day. I took her to Kiki's in Gallatin.
Kiki's
Breakfast Cafe.
Okay. All right.
Really great place if you haven't been. They do an amazing brunch.
Kiki's and Gallatin's a beautiful town.
Yep.
Lovely little place. We got so many great little villages and hamlets.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. I understand that there are a lot of folks concerned about the development that's happening in and around Nashville, Tennessee, and I get it. I'm talking about some of the farm areas that used to be the farm areas that are now, subdivisions with 187 houses on them.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just go out a little bit further. A little bit further. The drive between Mount Pleasant and Bell Buckle, some of those back roads, man, with those farm, that's living life the right way, y'all.
Yes, sir. It depresses me, man. I see it, and I know I don't have it, and it just, But it is beautiful.
They got.
I hope those people appreciate what they have.
Man, they got cows out there. They got sheeps out there. They got goats out there. They got all of God's critters out there in the farm. It's just
and
gorgeous
not
country.
a lot of people.
And not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. Bell buckle, I learned a lot about bell buckle. I'm very interested, if anybody knows the backstory, how did that happen?
What's that?
Well, it had to happen some way, Ken. Have you been?
Yes.
I mean, it is just lovely.
It is, man.
It is the Victorian houses, and I understand that it was apparently, because I always do research when we go to these small towns.
Oh, yeah.
You find some place to eat, and then you got to look it up on your phone.
Right.
See what the deal is. And apparently Bell Buckle was named, the rumor is, they don't really know how it got its name.
Yeah.
But the rumor is some of the fur traders and trappers and the first white settlers out there found a bell like you would hang on a cow and a belt buckle nailed to a tree. And it was reportedly the Indians issuing a warning to the whites. You need to keep your cows and your white people out of here.
Ah, okay.
But obviously the white people didn't listen because, we don't like to listen. And we came on in anyway. And so the bell and the buckle became Bell Buckle, Tennessee. That's the rumor. Anyway, it's a town of like 400 people.
Yes.
So my interest is
it's heaven.
It is lovely. But you can't tell me that there wasn't some impetus behind revitalizing that little downtown area into what it is. And I'm just there's a story there somewhere where, sometime, when was it? The 1970s, 1980s? When did it become a little destination spot? Because it is. There were people from all over in Bell Buckle on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah. They have big old moon pie festival.
They do. And Ken,
R.C. Colon moon pie.
Wouldn't you want to broadcast from out there, Ken?
Yes.
Just one afternoon.
That sounds like it'd be paradise.
It would. And RJ, you can be a part of that broadcast too. You could be here at home base because Jackson will.
He'll want to be out there getting the moon pies.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
I know how this business works.
A lot of you just gotta that's just the way that goes. There's a Kiki's in Mount Juliet across from Smiley Tie now. Well, that's good to know.
Smiley Tie.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Apparently Kiki. War Trace just up the road. Strawberry Festival was Saturday. You missed it. Oh, no. So Friday on the show out in Dixon, I said, I don't know that I said this on the air, but I predicted it, and I avoided it because my wife had said, hey, I want to go someplace on Saturday, but I'm not telling you where we're going. And I'm like, oh, God, that sounds bad. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's just when they won't tell you. And there were a couple of people that predicted, and this wasn't on the air. This is off air. Somebody said, oh, well, there's that Mike Wolf does that coffee and cars event in Columbia. I was like, no. If it was coffee and cars, she'd tell me because I like both of those things.
Right.
And so I'd be all in. I said this off the air, Ken. I said it as God is my witness. I said to two guys at Dixon Turf and Landscape yesterday or the other day, yeah. I was like, y'all, it's some damn strawberry festival or something. I guarantee you. So Saturday, we get up and we're starting to get going. And I'm like, so where are we going? And she said, well, we're not going to go there anymore because we're getting too late of a start. But I was going to take us to the Strawberry Festival. And I was like, I knew it. The only place I want to see strawberries are at the grocery store. Y'all, you don't have to go pick them yourself anymore. They do that for you, and they sell them. And they're cheaper. Or, well, maybe not cheaper. But it's worth it to buy them from the grocery store. Strawberry. I'm sure, before I get in trouble.
You might get some strawberry wine out there, Brother Murphy.
That is fair, Ken. That is a fair comment. Secondarily, I want to say, make sure you're recording this, RJ, just because we're going to get a complaint. I'm certain that the Strawberry Festival this past weekend in beautiful War Trace, Tennessee, was a lovely affair. And I'm certain that all of the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that went out had a wonderful time. And we're sorry we missed it.
We've got it on recording. You're safe.
Thank you. Golly, I'm so glad I missed it. But Bell Buckle was a lovely. It was a very lovely place.
It is, man.
It is just darling. Anyway, hope everybody had a great weekend. We got lots to get into. My goodness gracious. I don't know if you know what democracy looks like, but apparently it looks a lot like, hold on, like this.
Dude, what you
Yeah?
posted, wow.
It's like his feet were on fire.
I mean, he is a performer, isn't he?
He is a performance art, is what I call it. Young Justin Pearson has found his niche, and he completely understands his role right now, and he is playing it to the hilt. Justin Pearson is, I don't doubt his motives, his motivations. I doubt his intelligence if he really believes some of the things that he's saying, but I don't know what to tell you. They are angry about losing, and they're going to lose in the courts, in my opinion. They might have a chance to delay this long enough where the new districts do not go into effect until after the 2026 election cycle. That, to me, in my estimation, and based on the number of very learned attorneys that I've spoken with often on air, have indicated to me that the courts weighed in very clearly about their decision-making process in all of this. And they were very clear that it is opportunistic, yes, but illegal, no, to gerrymander districts based on political affiliation. What is not permissible is to gerrymander districts based solely on protected class criteria, such as race, color, ethnicity, sex. There is no question that this is what democracy looks like. What's fascinating to me is that Democrats are trying to convince ignorant people that this is new. None of this is new. It's just the Democrats did it so much better than the Republicans for all of our political history. But if you need it, I can give you a little bit of a historical primer on exactly what's going on. And we got the Democrat outrage, man, from Pearson to Jones, all across the spectrum on national news media over the weekend. There they were, telling us that this is the end of the United States of America as we know it. Why? Because we are being racially blind, as they claimed they wanted, for one of the first times in American history when it comes to these sorts of things. We'll discuss. We'll get your calls in on it. My favorite thing to do on the radio show is to talk to you on the phone, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986, either via phone or super text line. We'll talk about hantavirus as well. I'm going to also throw some shade at my Republican friends in the Congress of the United States of America from the state of Tennessee. Because let me tell you, they are running away from radio shows like this one. At least they're running away from this radio show. Maybe it's something that I did, but I'm willing to name names and tell you exactly what I'm talking about. We'll do that next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Would you guys like some better water? I've got an idea for how you can get some better water, and it comes from, wait for it now, the company called Better Water. Better Water LLC, to be precise. They've been doing business for 55 years in the Middle Tennessee area. They're a two-generation family business started in 1971, and the goal has been simple since the beginning, is to provide you with the cleanest water that is possible for bathing, for cooking, for washing your clothes, and obviously for drinking. These are the same guys that treat the water at your favorite local coffee shop. They treat the water at the hospitals around town, and they can treat yours as well. Based right out of Smyrna, they offer water softeners, specialized filters, UV lights, reverse osmosis units, you name it, they do it. So if it's hard water you're dealing with, if it's a weird taste in your water that you want to eliminate, or perhaps you're concerned that there's something even worse in your water that might be affecting the health of your family, let's get to it with Better Water LLC. They've come out to my home, and they can come to yours as well. They'll remove sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, and everything else out of that water. It's like a big Brita water filter for your home. Better Water at Better Water LLC, betterwater.com, betterwater.com, or 355-6063 for Better Water LLC. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, Nashville Safe House. Okay, so you want to protect your family, right? I get that. You want to protect your property. I get that, too. You want to protect your valuables, the things that you work for very hard in life. How do you do that? Well, you do that by going to Nashville Safe House, first and foremost. And obviously, you utilize the Second Amendment to ensure that you're going to be safe and healthy and happy for long periods of time on your property. But how do you protect those things that protect your family? You do so with Nashville Safe House. They have more safes. Friends, I understand there's a lot of imitators, and that's fine. That's an honor that there are imitators out there. But here's the bottom line. When you walk into the showroom at Nashville Safe House, you're seeing about a third of the safes that they have. And what you will look at, you're looking at more safes than anyone else has in Middle Tennessee, in the Southeast. They have almost 600 safes in their inventory in stock because they don't want you to wait on the safe of your choosing. They want to have the right one for you. And they have all makes and models and all types of brands. The largest Browning dealer in the United States of America, Fort Knox Champion, Superior, Rhino, and on down the line. Go to Nashville Safe House online. You'll see the difference, NashvilleSafeHouse.com, and then stop by 4th Avenue South in Nashville. Tell them I sent you to Nashville Safe House.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Well, the U.S. Supreme Court giving itself more time in a case that could limit access to the abortion pill, mifepristone. An order from Justice Samuel Alito extends a temporary block of a lower court decision. The challenged ruling would undo federal rules allowing the medication to be sent by mail. Full access remains in effect until at least Thursday. Here in Middle Tennessee and actually West Tennessee, a series of bomb threats disrupted the school day for thousands of students. Lockdowns reported at schools in Williamson, Rutherford, Davidson, and Madison counties. Officials say the incidents are likely part of a coordinated hoax targeting schools statewide. Police stress that every threat is treated as real until proven otherwise. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Still showing debris in the right lane, 24 eastbound near Spring Street, Ellington Parkway. Then a crash, Rivergate Parkway at Gallatin Pike. It is really slow going if you are westbound 40 between the eastern split and downtown. Complete stop and go brake tapping eastbound 440 from 65 over to 24. I'm Ken Weaver.
I understand that it can be a sensitive topic to talk about life insurance, okay? Because when you're talking about life insurance, you're considering the fact that at some point, someone in your family might not be with us any longer. And that's a hard conversation to have. But here's the deal. Life insurance is not about you. Getting life insurance for yourself is not about you. It's about your wife or your husband. It's about your kids. It's about making sure the house is taken care of, making sure that money is not a burden or a concern in the unlikely and tragic possibility that you're no longer with us. At King & Associates Insurance, they make it simple. They make it different. No pressure, no confusion. They sit down with you just like they do with your homeowners or your automobile insurance, and they give you clear options that fit your family. I want you to call 615-329-8121. You can ask for Emery or any of the teammates at King & Associates Insurance, 329-8121, or visit tkinginsurance.com. That's tkinginsurance.com, letter T. Tell them that I sent you to King & Associates Insurance. Ask them about homeowners, ask them about auto, and ask them about life insurance from King & Associates Insurance. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 35 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock. Thank you for being with us. My name is Matt Murphy. We hold the court from 3 until 7 on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, and I hope you're able to spend every single moment with us. Thank you for your time and consideration. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. It's not about me, though. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He delivers headlines twice an hour on when it breaks. RJ's running the controls today. Several of you asking about Jackson Williams. I feel like it's right there on the show title. What happened to Jackson? I don't know how we can be more clear about this. That it is our understanding, as far as we can tell and know, that young Jackson is currently incarcerated in Orange Beach, Alabama. He is in some sort of detention facility in the greater Orange Beach Gulf Shores area. We're not really sure if it's Orange Beach or Gulf Shores. They're right down the road from one another. I have a lot of contacts down there, Ken.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like I could potentially do something good for Jackson right now, but
maybe he needs to learn a few lessons.
It's tough love, Ken. Tough love.
He's probably in the tank with a bunch of Tide vans. And they're daring him to whistle Rocky Top. They're having him whistle Rocky Top.
They made me say roll tide, Matt Murphy. They made me say roll tide. I bet they did, Jackson. I just bet they did. 615-737-9986. So Democrats are losing their ever-loving mind. We got Justin Pearson out here moaning and complaining and dancing around on stage and just making a general performance piece out of it. You got AOC. Did you see where AOC over the weekend, she kind of doubled down on, she originally said, and I ignored it because I ignore these people. They're just morons, or at least I try to until it's impossible to ignore them.
Yeah.
Sadly, a lot of people believe them. She says that if you're a billionaire, there's no way you earned that. It's like, what?
Okay.
Well, I mean, this just goes against the basic premise of...
Just somehow you got $1 billion.
No, you didn't earn it, Ken. You stole it. You're stealing it. There's no way that any one human being has the ability to earn $1 billion. Nobody. And there are plenty of people around that just, by their very existence, demonstrate that that's an incorrect statement. But what she's really saying is that she does not believe in capitalism. She does not believe in the free market system. She does not believe in free enterprise. She does not believe that if someone with a good idea works their behind off, that they should be able to reap the benefit and reward of said hard work, that they must be forced to share that in a community-loving way and in a fashion by which individuals who are doing no work whatsoever get an opportunity to take a piece of your money, which is ultimately a representation of your work. Well, she doubled down on it over the weekend and said that the American Revolution was fought. It was a revolution against billionaires and the ultra wealthy. And I mean, look, there's a PBS special running right now from Ken Burns on the American Revolution. And I don't know that Ken Burns is ever going to be accused of being a Trump-loving Republican or conservative of any sort or fashion. But the man puts on a pretty good documentary. And I would encourage AOC just to spend a couple of minutes watching it, and she might learn a few things about the American Revolution. I mean, I suppose maybe when she was keeping bar back in the day that this might have come up from time to time. Obviously, she wasn't listening. Maybe she was busy muddling mint for the mojitos or something or another. But, I mean, I feel like we put it right down there where the goats can graze on it in the Declaration of Independence. And as I recall, and I haven't read it in a minute, but I think I recall it well enough that I don't recall there being anything about billionaires or the ultra wealthy in the Declaration of Independence. Do y'all? I just went in the course of human events, that thing, that document. 615-737-9986. Earl is first up today in Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, Earl. Hey, Earl. How are you, buddy? Hey, Earl, are you there? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you now.
Hey.
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yes, sir. Is this Earl?
This is Earl.
Hey, what's going on, Earl?
I've been listening on and off all day, and I've been hearing the host flippant and just nonchalant talking about the UFO deal. And, you know, I say this respectfully. Obviously it's above their pay grade and mental capacity, because if you look down, I mean, number one, these files have been classified for years, top secret classified. You don't just slap a top secret label on something for just giggles, you know? That's number one. Number two, if you know military pilots, you know they're no nonsense people, and they take care. You know, they don't just report things that didn't happen. I mean, these are serious people. And the point I want to make is, I've seen one myself personally. I saw it in broad daylight on a hot summer, sunny day. No clouds, no grainy video. What it could possibly be, I saw it with my own eyes, me and a friend, on a bright sunny day. And I don't care who believes me. I don't care who doesn't believe me. I know what I saw.
Earl, what did you see?
I saw it. It was. You probably would say it's the prototypical flying saucer. It was a gray disc. It was hovering with a slight wobble to it, and it moved around a little bit. And I guess when I got tired of doing it, it was gone. It didn't bother me. It didn't harm me. I saw it. I told my friend, "Hey, do you see that?" He said, "Yeah." And we stopped and looked at it, and it was just a disc hovering. And I don't know of any technology, especially in the 80s when I saw it, that could do that.
Mm-hmm.
No wings, no propellers, no sound. No, it was just a disc in the air, hovering, wobbling, and when it got time to go, it was gone.
Do you believe, I don't doubt that there are obviously sightings every year of classic UFOs. And when I say classic UFO, they've named them something else like UIPs or UAPs, but UFOs are unidentified flying objects. I mean, they're objects in the sky that we cannot readily identify as something that we know about, like a hot air balloon or an airplane. Yeah. And so I don't deny. Go ahead.
I could name you 90% of military aircraft the world over. You show me a picture of a plane, I don't care what country it's from, I probably can name 90% of them. I had never seen nothing like that. I've never seen nothing like it since in real life. So there's no doubt to me what I saw.
Well, what you saw, you don't really know what it was.
I haven't seen anything else on Earth that did that or looked like that. I mean, I'm a tech guy. I mean, I try to keep up on the latest things, military weapons. I'm a former military guy, and I've never seen anything physically do what that object did at that time.
Well, I am, and just in the interest of disclosure, I don't know what others have said on the radio station today, Earl. I just started at 3, so I can only speak for me. But I will say this: I am a skeptic when it comes to all of this, but I am open to the conversations, and which is why I'm so pleased that you decided to call. So,
I was a skeptic until I saw what I saw, and I wasn't the only one who saw it.
Right.
And gosh, what was I going to say?
So it feels like there's really two explanations, Earl. If I might broadly categorize, there's really two explanations for what you saw. One is that it was otherworldly, that it was technology that came to us from an extraterrestrial race or species, or it was secret military. Well, I guess I thought of a third. It could be secret military stuff that we don't need to know about, according to the United States government or whatever government actually made it. Could be Chinese, whatever. So there's two options. One, it's extraterrestrials. One, it's a secret that someone is developing some sort of technology. And the third is that there is some sort of explanation for it, and you just didn't understand what you were looking at. I'm not saying that's plausible. I'm just saying that's an option.
And all three of those are plausible. Now let's bring Area 51 into the equation. Okay, everybody. I mean, it's common knowledge that there was a crash out in Roswell, and the government scooped it up, and supposedly it's in Area 51. They will kill you if you try to get in Area 51.
Yeah, they will kill. Earl, they will kill. They will kill you if you try to get on any military base. That is a highly.
Not any military base.
Yeah,
I've been on a lot of military bases, but I wouldn't dare try to go near Area 51.
Earl, if you try to get on a locked down military base with force, they will shoot you.
Here's the thing.
I'm not arguing. But anyway, so you believe that's where they keep the stuff.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what. Okay, I've been in the military. I've been on military bases. I drive trucks. I've delivered military freight to the highest military bases, sub bases. Very hard to get on a submarine base. I've been to the Pacific Fleet, the Atlantic Fleet, and everything in between. And you show them a badge, they let you in the gate. You're not getting in Area 51. You're not getting near Area 51. You better not be trying to shoot it with a camera with a long range lens, or somebody's going to come and visit you. That's a whole different animal.
So what do you think?
Go ahead.
Well, just what do you think? I mean, what do you think is there? What do you think you saw?
I've never been to Area 51, but I've heard people, tell stories about, some of the things that go on there, military things and development, but also things out of this world. That's where it would be, and that place is. Like I said, when it comes to military bases and facilities, that's a whole different animal. You don't even drive up to that place. They got their own plane that they fly in from Vegas with no numbers and no windows and none of that. It's crazy.
Why do you think, and this has always been my question to those, and I'm not trying to, cut out your belief here. I mean, because that's difficult because people have faith in what they saw. But my question has always been, if we're being repeatedly visited by a far superior technologically advanced species of creature, extraterrestrial creature, why are they doing it so secretly? Why wouldn't they announce their presence to humanity if they're going to repeatedly over decades visit us in this fashion?
That's a good question. Only they could answer that. I mean, there are 10 different answers to that question. But something else I want to bring up. Have you noticed when all these years they've had the space station hovering above the Earth, they never have a camera pointing out the window just so we can see the perspective that they see? Why is it? It's always inside. They never say, "Hey, let's look out the window and see what's flying by today," or no live feed, no live streaming from outside of the Space Center. They've never done that. And something else does that. I lost my train of thought. But it's and then as far as religion, I don't know how it all fits with religion, or I have no idea. I'm a Christian, religious, God-fearing man, but I saw what I saw. How do they coexist or align with each other? I have no idea.
Well, there's a lot to unpack, Earl. I appreciate the telephone call. I appreciate the perspective. You seem like a reasonable guy, and I don't doubt that you saw what you saw. Let me make real clear where I'm at on this, because there's a lot of people that are like, I saw this and I saw that. I don't have any doubt that Earl is telling us exactly what he experienced. I don't have any doubt that there are plenty of you listening to this radio show right now that experienced some sort of phenomena by which you saw something that you didn't understand or couldn't explain. I just tell you where I'm at on it. And as I said to Chad during the cross, look, I understand that I'm the fuddy-duddy. Nope, I'm the no-fun police. I'm the guy that, shuts down the party. Everybody's having a big old UFO party. Everybody's excited about a big old UFO party. And Matt Murphy's is the party police. And here I come. Shut her down here and understand. Y'all need to get your asses on home now. Clean this place up. Shut her down. It's too late. I get it. I do not believe for a millisecond that we have been visited by life from other planets. Now, hear me clearly when I say that. I'm not saying that there is no life on other planets. I believe that there's life on other planets. There are a lot of planets out there, a lot of them. There are a lot of solar systems. There are a lot of opportunities for something along the lines of what happened on planet Earth to happen. And I think, all of those things can potentially comport themselves with faith-based belief, right? God-based belief. I just do not believe that we've been visited. I think that many of us want to believe that we live in a science fiction movie, and we want to believe that we're getting to the interesting part, and we are not. I know. Everybody wants to go back to the punch bowl. Nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to hear it. It makes zero sense that they would not announce their presence with authority. Do you understand how much more advanced that they would be than us? Number one, let's forget the fact that they would have no interest in visiting our planet. None. For what? What are they coming here for? We're like, what are we? We're bugs. We're like ants, maybe. And okay, so the only if we're ants, the only interest that alien creatures would have in visiting our planet would be to poke us with a stick, like you do an anthill. Now, there are some people that live among us that claim that they have been abducted and they have been poked with sticks and whatnot, probed even. And we look at those people like they're weirdos. Maybe you're listening to me. You're like, Murphy, look, when I've held this belief for a long time, it doesn't make logical sense. I'm the most logical person that you've ever met in your life. Emotional, sure, but logical, no doubt. Makes no logical sense. If they were repeatedly visiting us, they would have announced their presence by now. Number two, if they somehow crash landed somewhere, do you honestly believe that thousands or tens of thousands of people could keep this a secret? I don't. But I'm welcome to alternative theories. 615-737-90 ants. We love you, ants. I love what's currently happening on the super text line. I adore what's currently happening on the super text line. People are having fun. Aliens are coming for the OnlyFans and feetfinder.com. Brian says, I believe parts of Men in Black's real. There's some strange bleepers out there that live among us. 1843, do you know anybody that works for the mob? They keep people pretty quiet. Yes, I do know someone that, they used to work for the mob. I guess they don't currently work for the mob. Take me to your leader, indeed. 54 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, well, it was Friday. We were at Dickens Turf and Landscape, and we had such fun in Murfreesboro. They've got 7 separate locations to have fun at: Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. Help is always close by. And right now, through May 17th, you can take advantage of incredible savings on Toro walk mowers designed for big-time power and long-lasting durability. Easy operation. I was looking at some of these units Friday when we were at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. They're so great. They have such knowledge. They're there to help you understand exactly what their equipment does, what the separation is in terms of performance, and they're ready to upgrade your equipment and save you big money at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Thanks to all of the friends at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Trey and the gang are so good, and they're good to you too. Go to DickensSupply.com. That's DickensSupply.com. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Go where the pros go.
Tennessee law enforcement spent much of the day responding to bomb threats made against multiple high schools. We've got that story for you. Also, one about abortion pill access. That's coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's Ken Weaver. He's got news coming up at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock. After that, we will be we'll spend a little time with Representative Scott Sapicki, who stopped by the studio to talk about last week that was, and perhaps Scott will entertain some thoughts on UFOs from all of you. I have opened up a little bit of an ET's box. It's not a Pandora's box. It's more of an ET's box. There's a lot of hope going on. Jim and Bill, both from Hendersonville, Donald from Murfreesboro, John in Mount Juliet, and Joe in Franklin all want to discuss the concept of unidentified flying objects. Once again, I'm not suggesting that there's not life out there somewhere. As a matter of fact, odds would be that there is. We have, whether it's intelligent life, that's another step. That would be a step in the right direction. The idea that life has figured out technologies available to them that give them the opportunity to come to planet Earth, and then if they did that, they wouldn't announce themselves, hey, what's going on? Even if it would be to suck out our vital fluids and destroy us all in a War of the Worlds style fashion. One way or the other, we'll discuss it coming up next. I'm sure that Scott Spiggy has thoughts on this. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast, another traffic update in 5 minutes. Law enforcement in Tennessee spent much of the day responding to bomb threats made against multiple high schools, including in Franklin, Smyrna, Laverne, Antioch, and Jackson. This student at Antioch High School telling Channel 4.
It's really scary. It's at first, we didn't know it was a bomb. They just told us it was a lockdown until, students keep telling each other, oh, yeah, I heard this, I heard that. And it was just oh, a bomb. That's scary.
Well, authorities say no credible threats have been confirmed and no one has been hurt. The Tennessee Department of Safety says investigations are ongoing. Abortion pill access remains unchanged after the Supreme Court extended a temporary pause today. The justice is reviewing a case that could restrict mifepristone nationwide. A lower court had ruled against federal rules permitting mail delivery without an in-person visit. That decision remains on hold as the high court weighs next steps. And President Trump says the latest peace offer from Iran is stupid.
It's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid? Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory. We've already, in theory, had a complete victory from the military standpoint.
17 Americans and one British citizen that lives in the U.S. who were aboard an Atlantic cruise ship struck by hantavirus are back in the United States. ABC's Jim Ryan says 16 of the former passengers of the MV Hondius are in quarantine at the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
That includes one in a biocontainment unit, a bubble. The other two were taken to Atlanta's Emory University for further assessment and care. Dr. Brendan Jackson of the CDC says those testing negative and showing no symptoms might soon be able to go home.
We want to do this in the least restrictive way possible that is still safe, that protects the health and safety of both the passengers and their communities.
For everyone who was aboard the Hondius, the next 42 days will be spent carefully watching for symptoms of hantavirus. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Injury crash 24 westbound at Murfreesboro Pike. A crash 40 westbound at DeMunbrian Street. And in Arrington, Williamson County, a crash Nolensville Road near Murfreesboro Road. Rivergate Parkway at Gallatin Pike. We got some complete stop and go eastbound 440 between 65 and 24. I'm Ken Weaver.
Well, just in that brief commercial and news timeout, Representative Scott Sapicki and I solved all of the UFO stuff. I wish we could go back and kind of revisit it, but always moving forward, always moving forward. Maybe we'll get back to it toward the end of the conversation. If you want to hang in there on UFOs, we'd love to talk to you about UFOs coming up in just a few moments. It's 7 minutes after the hour, and we enter hour number 2 of the Matt Murphy Show. By the way, just so you know, just to signpost for you a little bit, we invited Scott on the show last week, and I know he's got a lot to say about what happened last week in the special session of the General Assembly of the state of Tennessee. We have also today on the show, I have invited no less than 4 sitting congressmen onto the show for today. Typically, these guys are ready to come on. To talk about activities in Washington, D.C. and things that impact and affect the state of Tennessee. And I have yet to receive any affirmative response. And I think there's a reason for that. They're trying to keep away as far as they can with this redistricting talk. But I just want to let you know that that's out there. Secondarily, and this makes a little more sense to me, we have invited Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti. I communicated with their office earlier today. They understandably said, well, Matt, there's not a lot that we can say about any of the lawsuits, either of the lawsuits. I guess there's just been 2, unless I missed one, that have been filed against the congressional redistricting that went down last week in the General Assembly. They're like, well, we can't talk about any specifics. And I was like, no, I'm not asking for specifics. I'm merely asking for an opportunity for him to go over what the process should be. He has said a little bit about that. He issued a public statement regarding how the process would go in terms of what court it would go into and how that would function. And the idea that there's going to be some sort of immediate injunction is not true. Skrmetti has moved to halt the progress in a lawsuit by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. And and I just got confirmation back from Matt Van Epps. He wants to do Thursday at 4 o'clock. Oh, well, that sounds great. That's normally when. Oh, look at that! You're here today.
Bumped.
No,
by a congressman.
No, you are such a vital and important part of the Matt Murphy Show. We can wait till Thursday.
Well, maybe I need to be a congressman so I don't get bumped.
Well, you should run.
Well, no.
No, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Hello, Scott. How are you?
How's everybody doing?
You doing all right?
It's been a week.
That is a good logo. That's a fetch. I commented on this during the break. I want to say this. If you're watching on Talk TV, that is it's like what is that? An owl, an eagle?
It's a skyhawk.
It's a skyhawk with little aviator glasses on,
correct.
Looking good.
UT
Who is
Martin.
UT Martin?
UT Martin.
I like
Skyhawks.
that. Your son playing there?
Plays football there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Both of your boys are playing in college.
Yeah,
now,
the
right?
other one plays at Kennesaw State University, just north of Atlanta.
Good for you. Good for you.
This fall is going to be busy.
I was about to ask, how's that going to work this fall? You're going to have to split duty?
Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So my wife will go one week to Gabriel, and I'll go to Daniel, and then we'll switch.
Good for you.
But I drew West Virginia. So UT Martin's playing West Virginia at West Virginia. There's really no easy way to get to Morgantown. So I'm going to fly into Pittsburgh and then drive an hour and a half to Morgantown to watch the game.
That's excellent. Well, those are moments and opportunities you never get back.
That's right. And we're going to try to make at least I'll try to attend half of them, obviously, and she'll try to attend the other half.
I'm not trying to bury the lead here, but it is, well, I'll back up and then we'll get to that.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot went down last week.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about what happened.
Sure.
This is not new.
Which day?
Well, what came out of it?
The crescendo at the end.
We're gonna set aside the performance art amongst the Democrats for a moment, and I try to look at this from a historical perspective. And I know that my dander gets up about the things that they do, but this is not new.
No.
Gerrymandering is not new. The political party that is in charge has traditionally been in control of a lot of this. Democrats have been better at it, and Democrats have had some legal precedent to use it as a bludgeon against Republicans, especially in the South.
More aggressive.
Voting Rights Act, et cetera.
Right.
And now the courts have determined, and look, I don't know of any reasonable person that would suggest that there wasn't a time where we had to correct some issues that were going on in America in terms of voting opportunities.
100%.
And the court seemed to have stated pretty plainly in the Louisiana case that we have gotten beyond setting boundaries and barriers based on protected class status. And we're not going to do that anymore. And if you want to set borders and boundaries and districts based on political partisanship, that's fair game because, to the winner goes the spoils. And that's what it feels like the state of Tennessee did last week.
Well, I think what they've done, and if you look at the previous map, the map that we may be still under, we don't know yet through the courts, most of those districts were aligned vertically across the state.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're aligned horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
So we just switched the angle of the aperture, and now the districts have gotten more longer instead of taller. And so I think across the board, from the numbers that I've seen, the representation is fair. We all anticipate that the courts are going to rule in our behalf that they are fair and they are drawn correctly, and everybody who is in those districts gets to vote if you want to vote. There's no law we passed that prohibits anybody or prevents anybody from voting. Everybody's entitled to a vote, and your vote counts one, just like your vote counts one. That's all it does.
It feels like the opposition, if we peel away a lot of their nonsense, the rhetoric that democracy's over, that the American experiment's done, that this is all bathed in racism or whatever, their argument seems to be that they are owed a Democrat majority district.
Correct. Black.
Well, I mean, they say black, but what they mean is Democrat.
With a white
That's what I'm saying, because you point that out, and I saw it all across the spectrum on the weekend shows.
Right.
You pointed out to the Pearsons of the world or the Joneses of the world. Well, you've got an older white gentleman that has represented that majority of black. Well, black people have the right to vote for who they want to vote for. Mm-hmm. Well, what they're really talking about is that they demand that you Republicans in the General Assembly draw them a district that they're going to win
based off of their color.
And
that's unconstitutional.
Right. Well, of course. Well, as determined last week by the Supreme Court of the United States.
It's a circular equation that doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work. And so I think what we saw was cooler heads on one side look at what's best for Tennessee, and we've drawn districts horizontally now that represent a wider swath of people, which kind of brings more diversity and more equity and more inclusion.
That's great. You should.
Wow.
I've never thought of it that way.
How about that?
You should write that down.
Yeah.
It's a little clunky, though. Maybe shorten it. Maybe just call it like DEI or something.
At my work.
Well, that's the thing, though. They're not arguing, and I mentioned this last Friday. If I understand their argument properly, they're not arguing for equality anymore. They're arguing for equity. They want an outcome guarantee. Right. They don't want an opportunity guarantee. They want an outcome guarantee.
That's correct.
And just, and I know that they know that this is what democracy looks like, because all they are left to do is perform and light things on fire and stamp their feet and cause a ruckus and try to get arrested.
So and I challenge all the listeners. In fact, I challenge everybody in Tennessee. Go back and watch the videos in each one of the hearings, right? When the opposition to this legislation was speaking, it was very quiet, right? Everybody was sitting there listening to everybody talk about how it's racist and they're stealing democracy, et cetera, et cetera. And then, Matt, as soon as the other side wanted to speak, that's when all the disruption started. That's when all the turmoil started, right? What happened to the word democracy where you hear both sides of the debate? There was no hearing the other side of the debate. It was give us what we want or else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not democracy.
Right.
It is you having a point. We've disagreed on this show sometimes.
We have.
And we still part as friends. You have your opinion, I have my opinion, and then the majority will decide what the outcome is.
And look, I even said last week, until things really descended on the final day to the point, it's like, my goodness gracious, I'm surprised. I mean, they clearly wanted some folks to get arrested.
Yeah.
God bless the Highway Patrol. The state troopers did a great job in the face of a lot of that junk. But look, I understand why they're emotional. They're losing.
Yeah.
They have lost the script, and their message. They do not wish to compete in the arena of ideas because when they try to compete in the arena of ideas, they get beat.
That is the argument that people need to realize is I am in the arena of ideas, and whoever has the best ideas normally wins. And if you don't have any ideas, then what do you revert back to? Racism, bigotry, you're coming at your white supremacy. I have been called this week a white supremacist more than I've ever been called my entire life. And it's like, what are we doing here, Matt? We got to get back. And this is about Congress too, right? We got to get back to the discussion of ideas to make us great.
Do you know Representative Deborah Moody?
Very well. She's one of my best friends.
Have you seen that video?
Yes. It broke my heart.
It breaks mine too, and I don't know her. But it is so shameful. It is so disgusting. It is so out of bounds. I thought about asking RJ to try to clip it and to try to bleep it.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. There are so many nasty slurs and just and I posted it on my X account. Go to @MattMurphyShow, @MattMurphyShow, and you'll see this. It is Representative Deborah Moody attempting to leave the State House, and she's trying to walk down the steps, I presume, to her car.
Back to Cordell Hall.
Or back to Cordell Hall. And what's fascinating to me is that I asked, are any Democrats going to condemn this?
Right.
Is Phil Williams at News Channel 5 going to highlight this? I mean, this dude over at News Channel 5, let me go on a rant here for a second.
Go ahead.
Dude does an entire investigative series called Hate Comes to Main Street. This was the most hateful, nasty, god-awful language that you will ever hear one human being scream at another human being. And all this woman's trying to do is get back to her office. And silence on the part of these leftist television stations. Where are they highlighting all of this? I can't even play it on the radio, otherwise I would get fined by the FCC for multiple FCC violations. And yet they get the pass. And you guys are called the racists for redrawing district lines, which is your constitutional responsibility and right.
On Thursday, when I walked out of the House floor, I had people yelling at me, praying that my wife would be raped by black men. Okay. I heard what they said to Deborah, one of the sweetest women you'll ever meet in your life. She just wants to do what's right for Tennessee, right? Phil Williams would be talking about a Pulitzer Prize if Deborah Moody was African American and the people yelling at her were white.
100%.
Okay.
And we all know it.
This radio show and all the radio shows on 99.7 and across Tennessee should have Democrats and Republicans sitting here together saying this must stop. This is not what made us great. The name calling, the vitriol, the hatred, right? Hey, if you want to change things, win some elections.
Now, in the interest of fairness, I saw the video of you kind of laughing at your colleague, Representative Todd Warner.
Well, it wasn't at Todd Warner. I was behind Todd Warner. I had walked by a trooper, and he rolled his eyes, I rolled my eyes, and I started to laugh. And then Representative Harris was coming out, and he asked me a question about the Israel-Tennessee caucus, and I was giving him an answer.
Well, I mean,
it looks bad.
Well, no,
No,
I mean,
it's fair.
Look,
I
I would have kind of. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, Warner's clearly poking the bear.
Oh, he's poking the bear.
And if you don't know, Representative Warner, who has announced his candidacy for the 9th Congressional District, by the way, did that earlier today.
Correct.
Todd walked into the chamber with a Trump flag on.
Trump flag on it.
And also using some language that I can't use on the air on the flag.
Correct.
And look, I mean, I suppose if we asked,
it said no more bovine scatology. That's what it said.
That's what it said.
That's what it said.
It did, and it was Trump 2024 flag.
I rode up in the elevator with him, and he pulled the flag out, and I was like, "Do you realize these people are going to just explode?" He's like, "Yeah, okay,
all right,
have at it."
I mean, I thought it was funny. I mean, I would have laughed too if I'd have watched him walk into the chamber with it, because I'm like, my goodness gracious, he knows that we're in a tinderbox.
And then he stood there, and I get it, man. And yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's talk about what happened and what we expect to happen in the aftermath of all of this coming up in a moment. And I'll ask you about the new district lines and how that changes dynamics in the state of Tennessee. It's 22 after the hour. Scott Spiegel, good friend of the show, is with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Defenda Systems is on my mind. They are a life safety and security consultation firm born right here in Middle Tennessee. Brink Fiddler and his team are great at what they do. They help you understand exactly what you should do, and they help train your staff in the unlikely event something negative should come to your business, your church, your school, any place that people gather, really. Active shooter response is a part of what they do. Workplace violence prevention, security improvement consultation, emergency and intruder action plans, rapid response medical, all customized and designed for your facility. Ask yourself this question. Would you know what to do if something like this happened in your place of business? Most of us recognize that it happens, but we always say the same thing. Well, that could never happen here. That would never happen to us. Well, everywhere it happens, they say that. Well, I would never pretend that this is likely, because it's not. The odds are minuscule, but it's not zero. That means hope's not a plan. It's time to get trained, and real training that benefits your staff and can help them in the real world in other ways, like automobile accidents or any time you need rapid medical, they can help. DefendSystems.com, DefendSystems.com, or 615-236-6484, 236-6484 for Defend Systems.
Several Tennessee schools placed on lockdown today. The Supreme Court temporarily preserving access to the abortion pill. President Trump says that peace offer from Iran, unacceptable, to put it nicely. That's coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 27 minutes after the hour. Where do we go from here? We're gonna finish up kind of looking back on last week, and then we will, after the bottom of the hour news, you just heard that news tease from Mr. Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. We will, with Scott Zopicki, kind of move forward and figure out where we go from here in terms of the lawsuits and the timing. I'll get to this question in a moment, but just about every person that I've talked to between then and now has said the same thing regarding the timing, and that is that we feel like ultimately we'll be victorious, but whether or not that happens before November is in question. We'll get Scott's take on that in a moment. I've got an all call for Democrats. Any Democrat that wants to come on this radio show, I want to argue with them. I just want them to sit down and talk to me about their position on this issue, whether it's J.R. Clemens or Bo Mitchell or Afton Bain or the Justins or Gloria Johnson, any of them. They're invited to come on this show. And, of course, I've heard nothing but crickets. And some of these people, I invited Heidi Campbell back on. People that have been on the show before. Afton Bain has been on. Afton and I have said nothing but nice things to one another. They are silent on this. Is there silence on some of the tactics and language that happened last week complicity in your mind?
Yes, I do. I think first of all, what they knew, they orchestrated. So don't tell me this was spontaneous. They all knew it. Everybody wore the same ties. All the women wore white, right? Mm-hmm. This was all orchestrated. They knew exactly when they were going to go up to the front and all lock arms. Justin Jones had his little air horn with him. He had his performative Confederate flag. He knew he had to go outside the chamber to burn the flag because inside the chamber, the speaker controls that. Outside the chamber, the government controls the grounds. The governor does, right? So he went outside in front of the cameras who he knew were there, all performative. Justin Pearson with his brother up in the balcony, right? There's not enough I can say thanking the troopers for not reacting in a way that they would have been. If you and I would have said that to a trooper, we probably would have been in handcuffs.
Yeah, screaming at him, boy, looked like a little spittle comes out of his mouth, bumping into him,
yes.
Screaming expletives, and truly preventing the troopers from doing their duty, and that is removing the individual who happened to be Justin Pearson's brother from the gallery, who would not stop screaming and yelling from the gallery and causing a disruption.
Who was asked to leave multiple times by the trooper as directed by the speaker, who has the authority to clear the balcony for any reason he deems necessary so we can conduct our business. We've reached a point to where enough's enough, especially with these representatives in the House. Now, with the Senate happens, we all saw what happened in the Senate, too. Charlene Oliver standing up on top of a desk. And you know what? People sent me texts from her later, fundraising off of it.
Of course.
Fundraising off of her display.
And what is as disgusting, I want to talk about this in a moment, is that we see this happening in real time in our backyard. We see the truth of the matter. We see the orchestration. The mainstream media across the nation, they don't report on any of that.
Complicit.
They are complicit in creating a narrative that those people that screamed that they wished that members of the body's wives were raped, they're the good guys, according to the national media. They're the good guys. And it turns the stomach.
Just flip the colors.
31 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the news.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Several Tennessee schools put on lockdown today following a wave of bomb threats across the state. Schools affected include Franklin and Page High Schools in Williamson County, along with Smyrna, Laverne, Holloway High Schools in Rutherford County, Antioch High School, also Northwest High School in Clarksville. Authorities say the threats appear to be hoaxes or swatting calls, but each report being investigated. No injuries or suspicious devices have been found. U.S. Supreme Court temporarily preserving nationwide access to the abortion pill mifepristone. Justice Samuel Alito's order extends a hold on a lower court ruling for several more days. That ruling would have limited mail distribution of the drug. The court has not yet said how it will ultimately act in the case. This extension is until Thursday afternoon. President Trump says the latest peace offer that is, from Iran is unacceptable and says the ceasefire is on life support.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.
More than a dozen Americans who were on board the cruise ship at the center of the hantavirus outbreak are back in the U.S. Health officials with the CDC and Health and Human Services say 16 passengers are in Nebraska, 2 are in Atlanta. The American who tested positives in a biocontainment unit in the University of Nebraska, and the rest who are in Nebraska have not shown symptoms so far. The 2 who are in Atlanta, health officials say, will be at Emory University. One of them is showing symptoms. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes 24 westbound at Murfreesboro Pike, Arrington and Williamson County, Nolensville Road near Murfreesboro Road, 40 westbound at Demumbrian and in the Belmont area, 440 eastbound at Hillsboro Pike, 21st Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. I want to talk to you about an incredible technology through Craft Body Scan. This is modern CT scanning technology that can get inside the body in a non-invasive fashion. It takes about 8 minutes, right? You don't have to take your clothes off or anything like that. You go in, take keys out of your pocket and your wallet out of your pocket, and then you lay down. And it scans you. And after about 8 minutes or so, they can check out your heart. They can check out your lungs, all manner of parts of your body. But I want to focus on those that heart and those lungs right now. Because you and a loved one, your significant other, can go to Craft Body Scan right now and get a $99 couples heart and lung scan. This is a value of over $2,500. I mean, separately, these things are about $1,300 a piece, and they're offering it at $99. This is a way to introduce themselves to you, to say that you should be doing this on a regular basis. It's very important, and it's very, very easy. You can catch issues within your body very, very early on, even before they're symptomatic, which is what it's all about. But here's what you have to do. You have to go to togetherwescan.com and put in promo code MATT50. Do that for me, MATT50. Or 615-436-1000. Tell them you heard about them on The Murphy Show. 615-436-1000 for Kraft Body Scan. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Several people, we had 6 different callers that were on the line regarding UFOs. And several of them that had to drop because we're talking about what happened last week. We shifted our gears, and we can go back to UFOs a little bit later on if you desire. But many of you are now suggesting that my deflection and moving away from the topic is in itself proof that UFOs exist, that I'm a puppet of Mother Government, that I'm controlled by Area 51, and therefore that is why I got away from it before the callers were allowed to disabuse me of the notion that there's not been contact from other planets. I hear it. I'm here for it. I am here for it, and potentially I'm a grand part of the conspiracy. I don't know if Scott Spicky's a part of the conspiracy or not, but he was certainly a part of activity going on in the special session last week, and we've been discussing this. You know, when you talk about the performance art, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not anything new that the national media has taken sides. It feels like, you know, since Trump came down the escalator, they don't hide it anymore. They don't pretend to be neutral parties. It's very frustrating to be in the backyard and to watch how these setups happen. An example, and I'm not here to belabor it, is this photo opportunity that Pearson had trying to get into a committee room.
Senate committee. So for those that don't know, the backstory is he's a House of Representatives member. Mm-hmm.
The Senate was in committee.
Yes.
Because of multiple disruptions, they had to clear the committee room.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, when they clear the committee room, could you go there and watch the proceedings?
No, only sitting Senate members could gain access to that audience.
Well, wait a minute, though. You're white, Scott. Don't you get the white pass?
No, I don't. I get no pass. In the Senate, I'm just like everybody else. I am not a member of the Senate. Now, they allow us to come on there and talk to people at times, but when that chairman clears the committee, you're out. Only sitting Senate members can come back into here.
And so knowing this, Pearson, who, you know, I suppose one could give him credit for being good at staging photo ops. He staged a photo op, and he'll raise a bunch of money on this photo op because the sergeant at arms doing his job.
Super guy, I know him.
He's there to protect the committee members in the Senate.
Enforce the rules.
And enforce the rules.
That's it.
He didn't make the rules.
No, his job's to enforce them.
And he's not hurting anybody. But he's being described as Bull Connor today. I mean, you have Deborah Moody being called things that I wouldn't say to Sapicki on a golf course. I mean, that I wouldn't say in a locker. You know what I mean?
Should be repeated nowhere.
And obviously you described some of the things that were said to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the media reports none of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they highlight this photo as if it's some sort of civil rights moment in time, when the description is the Senate cleared the room because they had to, because of the number of disruptions. They were trying to do the business of the body, and they characterize it as a black man was being prevented by a white man from entering a place that he belonged. And it's just not true.
You know who hasn't called me? 2, 4, 5, or 17.
Weird.
Isn't that ironic?
Weird.
That they could get another side of the story if they wanted.
And present both sides.
And be fair and objective. And let the people decide what they think.
Odd, isn't it?
Yep.
Now, there's all of that performance that's happening underlying all of this.
Yes.
And then there's the reality of what happened. Yes. And the reality of what happened is, I mean, it's nuanced too because of the timing.
There's a lot that got to happen still.
I spoke to Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton last week. I spoke to House Majority Leader Jack Johnson last week, and saved the best for last. I'm speaking to you today. And
he didn't mean that, gentlemen. He didn't mean that.
I asked the.
Don't get me in trouble now. Don't get me in trouble.
I'm just joking. I asked them both the question, and they answered it in the same fashion. That is, do you believe that you'll be successful? Do you believe that this will pass constitutional muster? And both said absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
And do you agree with that?
100%.
Will it happen this election cycle? Is the second question.
There's a shot clock on this one here. From what I understand, the Secretary of State came out and said in committee that all this dust must settle by May 20th. Or else there's not enough time to get, I believe, the absentee ballots out with the correct people on the ballot, et cetera, et cetera. The new filing deadline has been extended to this Friday, May 15th. So if there's a candidate who wants to run for these new offices, right, that they can file. But a lot has to happen very quickly here in the courts, a lot. And I know you talked about Skrmetti, about the timetable. His job is to defend the state of Tennessee. Now, the question is, do we have enough time to issue the defense to get the proper verdict or the proper execution of the law in time by May 20th to get everything in order for, remember, early voting starts July 15th.
Well, and the question then becomes, if it is believed that these court challenges are not going to be determined prior to this election cycle, then do you continue those court challenges with the districts as they're currently drawn, or do you go back to the previously drawn districts? And that would require, I think, an injunction by a court to prevent initiating the new districts.
So this is my 80,000-foot view of what's been explained to me. If we do not have this resolved by May 20th, then because we don't have time, it automatically reverts to the previous districts for the 2026 election.
Okay.
What we've passed then would apply to the 28 election.
And then that gives enough time for the courts to figure it out.
Right. So, well, I don't think the courts are going to rule against us on the constitutionality of what we've done. It is, do we have enough time through the Secretary of State to enact what we've done? And I think that's what we have to figure out is, can we get this done in a timely manner so that as a candidate, right, you have enough time to go meet your, like Andy Ogles, right? He's my congressman, and he's still going to be my congressman in District 5, right? But he has to go introduce himself to Northwest Tennessee that hasn't seen him ever.
Right.
Right? If Charlie Hatcher stays there, if Chaz Mulder stays in the 5th.
You got to go out to Paris
it's a whole
Camden
new group of people.
And all these other places.
In 60 days. In 60 days.
Which is fair.
It's tough, though. Oof.
It's tough. Have at it. Well, it's especially tough if you're Andy. You only got $60,000 in the bank, but that's another question.
And even in the new congressional ninth, right? We don't have a sitting congressman in the ninth now, in the new district. So somebody's going to get that job that's new. I know we've got Brent Taylor running. I heard there's a lady from Memphis who's considering running. Todd Warner just got in. And I think there's another gentleman possibly getting in from Lincoln County. So you have to introduce yourself. And by the way, the district goes in District 9 from a corner in Smyrna, Rutherford County, through Williamson, Murray, Bedford, Moore, Fayette, Lincoln, Giles,
right
Wayne, and then all the way over across southern Tennessee to Memphis.
Right.
In 60 days.
Now, when we talk about the 9th congressional district, you'll be in the
I'm in the 5th.
You're in the 5th.
But because Murray County is split, I have options.
Have you thought about it?
I have. I prayed about it with my wife. We've talked about it, and sometimes ending in arguments. It's very flattering for people to ask you to run for Congress. It's very, very few people get to serve up there. But it keeps coming back to this, Matt. You know where my heart is here. My heart's in education. I think that we are so close in education with a new governor coming in that I think working with the new governor, I think we can take us to where maybe in 4 or 5 years, we're talking about top 10 in the country in education. 8 years ago, we were 47th. It could be the biggest turnaround ever recorded in history in our country of a state going from almost last to top 10. And my goal is to take us to top 5.
So you don't expect that you'll throw your hat in the ring regardless of what happens within the courts?
Right now, no.
Are you excited about the prospect of having multiple congressmen, we've talked a lot about the crime task force over in Memphis.
Yeah.
We've talked about the state, quote unquote, takeover, which is how we characterize it. I think the state is doing it the right way, that they get third party individuals from that community.
Yeah, governing board.
Right.
Governing board.
I'm excited about the possibility of new individuals taking a new look at Memphis, and multiple people, I guess three. Much like they did in Nashville. And oh, by the way, I don't think if Nashville's suffering at all, Nashville's suffering because of a lack of local leadership. I don't think they're suffering because of a lack of congressional leadership.
Well, they have a tremendous voice now in Washington. Murray County used to be represented by 2 congressmen. We had Congressman Green and Desjardins for a long time. As a state representative, it was very advantageous to me to have 2 voices to call.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Murray County going back to 2 representation, I'll have 5th and 9th representation that I'll be able to pick up the phone and call, hey, I need some help on something, and let them run interference for me at the federal level. And now Memphis goes from 1 to 3 representatives. So 3 voices to hear.
No, I think it'll turn out well. I am not at all impressed by this notion that some of our quote unquote friends on the left are presenting that if you're a Republican, you can't possibly represent Memphis. I mean, well, initially they said, well, it's a black majority district, so how dare you?
Right.
And then we pointed out, as we talked about earlier, that, well, you know, since 2007, I believe it is, or you've been represented by a white guy. And they're like, well, we get the right to pick who we want to pick.
He may identify as African-American, though.
True. I mean, that's
It's the
fair.
left. It is the left.
Fair. Well, hold on. We get to pick who we want to pick. I was like, what, as long as they're not Republican? Because that seems to be the suggestion, is that any opportunity that a Republican might have in those areas is automatically racist on some level.
You should be able, anytime you argue a point, you should be able to flip it either way, and it sound the same. Could you imagine if we flipped that to a white district and only electing? I mean, it just wouldn't happen.
It would sound
right?
gross.
It'd be like, what are you doing, guys? I think the only thing that we're up against is the time, the shot clock. Can we get this through the courts in time to make it happen? And if we can't, then from what I understand, we go back to the original districts that we had for the 2026 election cycle, which I would be willing to bet you, Matt, that we're probably going to send 8 Republicans and 1 Democrat probably back to Washington as it is. And then in 2028, it'll probably, the new boards will come in and it'll flip.
I'll tell you one thing, in my opinion, is for certain. If it's still an 8-1 split, Pearson wins that election in Memphis.
Oh, he's going to have a lot. Well, I think because Cohen says he's not going to run. The last time I heard that Cohen's going to get out. He's going to focus on a lawsuit.
Well,
isn't that nice?
Isn't that convenient?
But then I lose him. I lose Representative Pearson.
It's a shame.
Wow.
It's a shame. What happens to those that coordinated a violation of the rules? In your opinion, what should happen to those in the House or the Senate for that matter? They have their own sets of rules, but the rules violations were similar in their nature. Approaching the well, disrupting the proceeding, using artificial noisemakers, encouraging the gallery. We set up some rules when they did this the last time. It was either nothing or expulsion.
Right.
There have been some, middle ground types of punishments that were agreed upon by the body. What happens in the 115th?
I think it's going to be whoever the speaker is. We don't. I mean, I'm assuming it's Cameron, but we never know. I mean, I think sanctions are going to come out for the Democrats, because the problem is, Matt, the whole caucus did this. They all did this. And so every one of them broke multiple rules, as you spoke of. And I think if you allow that to happen, you encourage more of that type of behavior. Remember this, on the House floor, Matt, we were the state that allowed women the final vote to vote. Great things. Davy Crockett, Andrew Jackson, Johnson, the greats of Tennessee walked those hallways and sat in those desks in the General Assembly. You have to remember where you are, Matt. That's why we have decorum. And it's a discussion of ideas. There was no discussion of ideas. It was give us what we want or we're going to throw a temper tantrum. You cannot reward that. And I would encourage, and I know Cameron listens to this, I am in the hammer side. Drop the hammer on people, and therefore they realize don't do this again. You can argue, you can debate. Matt, we talked about this. 37 amendments on the bill. We sat there and listened to every one of them. After that, we went to the bill. 47 minutes of uninterrupted debate on the Democrat side. And then as soon as the speaker called on Leader Lamberth and we called on the first Republican legislator, it all broke loose.
All hell broke loose. Because they don't want to debate.
It's not about democracy. It's about I want.
Mm-hmm. It's once again, I say it all the time. It's not about equality. It's about equity.
I work for 7 million Tennesseans. It's a we, not I.
I love that. I feel like it's a campaign ad. Crockett, Jackson, Polk, Sapicki.
Okay, no.
No?
Not yet.
You don't like that?
Not yet.
I feel like it flows right off the top. If it were me.
Hey, you know what I'd be happy with? Every one of those kids knows exactly who those people are because they're educated.
Well, that's fair. That's fair, and it's well spoken. Someone has written in on the super text line and says, I just want to know how I stop this crap. And they showed me a screenshot. Yeah. And the screenshot says, it's Justin Pearson. We've seen a surge of support, and we need only one donation from 37,129 to hit our goal. Donate here. And then right at the bottom of the text, it says, stop to quit. And so the person has responded to me, and I get what you're saying is that you're getting these stupid things, but you're like, I just want to know how to stop this. Well, it says right there. You just write stop, and I think it'll stop.
Well,
but
if you want,
they're obviously, I mean, this is their goal, right? They're fundraising off of the performance art that they've been engaging in over the last week.
Hey, scottsapicki.com. There's a little donate button. Feel free.
I might give you $1 or $2.
I'll take $1 too.
I mean, I think you.
Hey, I'd much rather have 1 million people giving me $1 because that's 1 million votes.
There you have it. So, Representative Sapicki, thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
As always, that's Scott Sapicki. We may get back onto UFOs. We may get back onto the incarcerated Jackson Williams, or we may play a few clips from the weekend.
By the way,
yeah,
I'm not Ken Weaver.
He's not Ken Weaver. I'm not either. Super Talk 997 WTN. Speaking of education, I was publicly educated in Georgia, so I'm behind the 8 ball already. And I'm not ready for all of the mathematics examinations that come with health insurance coverage. It's why I have Shane Ring and Cover Nash in my life, because Shane understands health insurance backwards and forwards. And he doesn't work for a health insurance company. As a matter of fact, he has his fingertips on every single plan and opportunity of coverage that you have in the state of Tennessee. And there's over 75 different plans and programs that he could go with. But he doesn't work for any single one of them. He works for, wait for it now, you. How about that? Working for you, he can identify the best plan, the best coverage for you that's going to get you maximum coverage for you and your family at a minimum of cost. If you're self-employed, uninsured, or simply tired of paying too much, do not wait for this mythical, quote, open enrollment. It doesn't really exist. Shane can talk to you about that as well. Shane Ring at Cover Nash can make changes for you today that will benefit you tomorrow on your terms, not on the terms of the government. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at covernash.com.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Well, several school districts across Tennessee responded today after bomb threats triggered lockdowns at several high schools. Police were called to campuses in Franklin, Rutherford County, Nashville, West Tennessee as a precaution. Channel 4 talked to some people at Franklin High School who were not amused.
I feel it as a student, it's kind of not fair to us because we're just here trying to get our educations and learn things that we need to learn to move forward in life.
It's very serious, and I don't understand why people choose to play and do these as a joke, because it's not a joke. Nothing's funny about it.
It's affecting a lot of people, and it seems so unnecessary and just wrong and heartbreaking.
So authorities say the calls are believed to be false. Students were kept inside classrooms during searches. Nothing was found. U.S. Supreme Court temporarily kept full access to the abortion pill mifepristone in place while it considers a legal challenge. Justice Samuel Alito just extended a pause on the lower court ruling until Thursday afternoon. That ruling would have restricted prescribing the drug without an in-person visit. For now, mifepristone remains available by mail nationwide without an in-person visit. And with more than a dozen Americans who were on board the cruise ship at the center of the hantavirus outbreak back in the U.S., President Trump says he's hopeful it will be contained.
I hope it's fine. All I can do is everything that a president can do, which is actually somewhat limited. But it seems like it is not easy to spread.
Now, Dr. Brendan Jackson with the CDC says this type of hantavirus can only be spread human to human when someone shows symptoms and when there is close personal contact.
Typically, we're talking about exposure specifically to bodily fluids, and then that could include things like saliva. So if you're sharing eating utensils, kissing, touching, those type of things. It can also mean just being really, really close to that person for a fairly long period of time. So we're calling that 6 feet for at least a cumulative number of 15 minutes.
President Trump says he does not accept the response from the Iranians regarding the one-page memorandum that the White House has proposed to end the war in Iran. At the White House today for a separate event regarding maternal health, President Trump criticized the response he says he got from Iran, indicated to reporters the U.S. is poised to restart hostilities. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
Reiterating his position that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, President Trump on Monday signaled pessimism about the current state of the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran, telling reporters,
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it.
The president went on to say the ceasefire is on, quote, massive life support, but he insists he's not under any pressure to make a deal to end the conflict. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a stalled vehicle blocking the left lane, 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Injury crash in Woodbine, Nolensville Pike at Thompson Lane. And then 440 eastbound at Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue, exit 3. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN back after it, baby. Let's go. It's 6 minutes after 5 o'clock. Larry writes in and says, did I miss Friday? Yeah, you did, Larry. It's Monday. It's a Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Show, Larry. It's not a Friday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Where you been? Larry's been sleeping all weekend. There's the voice and the laugh of Ken Weaver back in News Closet B. Ken Weaver does a great job updating us on headlines and making sure that we understand everything that's going on in the state of Tennessee, across these United States of America, and on planet Earth. We got Ninkham in the news coming up a little bit later on this hour. RJ is already very excited about Ninkham.
Oh, you know it. Also, if you decide to get Jay Sinclair in, you could call it Monjay.
We could call it Monjay or Tuesday, or, it really works for any of those days.
It works for any of them, yeah.
That's good. But nothing has the ring to it like Friday. We missed a Jay this past Friday. For those, and maybe that's what Larry is referencing. Jay was unable to be with us Friday. Duty calls, believe it or not, even though Jay is, I guess you would call Jay semi-retired. He still has a couple of pretty big clients, and he was out in Phoenix, Arizona at a conference and was unable to do Friday on Friday, or Friday on Friday is the way that you'd want to say that. If you want to do UFOs or anything else for that matter, give us a call, 615-737-9986, 737-9986. I encourage you to go over to, and we made reference to this during our visit with Scott Sapicki, and I just want to speak to it for a moment, and I've got a couple of clips. I cannot play you the clip of Representative Deborah Moody leaving the state capitol, but I will say this to you. In all sincerity, and well, I say that. Everything I say to you is in all sincerity. But I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I am not trying to overstate this. And I understand that we run this comparison into the ground because it is so often so obvious that if you flipped the roles, how the reaction would be different. But without emotion, without anger, and it truly in the spirit of making this community a better place, it is shameful. And y'all be a fact checker for me, because if they've run stories on it, I have missed it. But I'm going to say it, and if you have seen a story on it, y'all correct me and I'll correct the record. But for any of the local television stations, WSMV Channel 4, in News Channel 5, the CBS affiliate. What's the ABC affiliate? It's
WKRN News 2.
WKRN News 2, or Fox 17. I know people at each of those stations. I've had the opportunity in the 4.5 years that I've been in Nashville to meet some of those folks, and they're many good people, particularly WSMV. I've been into their newsroom because we are affiliated with WSMV. You'll hear some of their reports on our television, or their television reports on our radio station, and you will hear weather coverage from WSMV. They're good partners in that regard. So this is not personal. It is a commentary that is pointed, direct, and meaningful. Deborah Moody is an older white female who happens to be a Republican. And what happened to her outside of the State House is a stain on this state. It is disgusting. People surrounded her as she attempted to walk back to Cordell Hull, and they said every expletive you can imagine. People were verbally telling Deborah Moody that they hoped that her children were raped. Specifically, what they said was by black men and have children by black men. That's not me saying that. It's them saying that. And that is a portion of what was said to her that I can repeat. Most of what was said to her, I can't repeat. I don't know Deborah Moody. But for a moment, if you are not driving or operating a piece of machinery that would prevent you from doing so, will you close your eyes and will you imagine for a moment if this were a black lawmaker and white people were screaming that to her? Well, she's not a black lawmaker. And these were not white people screaming that to her. I find it amazing, appalling, and shameful that not one media outlet on television in this community has seen fit to report on this. Why? Why? Every single one of them has run the story where Justin Jones decided to burn a piece of cardboard with a Confederate flag on it inside the state capitol. Every single one of them are running this staged photograph of the Tennessean with Justin Pearson looking all pensive, holding his chin, while the sergeant at arms, invariably characterized as some sort of Bull Connor-esque figure, stands guard in the Senate chamber because the Senate gallery had to be cleared, or the committee room had to be cleared as a result of multiple disruptions, and no one but sitting senators would be allowed inside. So all of that was set up by design. Every single one of them carry those stories. Every single one of them carry stories with the Democrats screaming racism at every turn, when in fact this is repairing a sin of the past that was directly related to racially driven tactics that would pigeonhole Democrat votes, particularly African-American Democrat votes, into one specific area or district. I'm fine with presenting all sides, but they're not. They run Phil Williams, who attempts laughably, the cowardly Phil Williams, and I refer to him as the cowardly Phil Williams because I challenged him publicly on content, on issue-oriented argument. I challenged him on facts, okay? Phil Williams misrepresented basic facts regarding a plane crash in Washington, D.C. I remember exactly what it was. I am elephantine. And I challenged him on those facts, and he blocked me as a result of that challenge. That is cowardly. He blocks anyone that dares push back against the narrative that he chooses to present, oftentimes ignoring basic facts in any given circumstance in order to further that narrative. And now we have found out that Phil Williams has consistently relied on Southern Poverty Law Center organizational structure to run his, quote, investigative reports. And we now know that the SPLC has been giving money to those very racist organizations that he claims to want to destroy with his, quote, Hate Comes to Main Street series. Phil Williams, the same man who I challenged to question his very good friend, Representative Justin Jones, about credible reports from the summer of 2020, before Justin Jones was a sitting representative, when he was an activist, when he was outside of the State House pushing back against the man, the General Assembly, during what was deemed the summer of love in 2020 in the aftermath of George Floyd. You know, when the Carmack statue was destroyed? There were two separate credible reports that were delivered at the time that Justin Jones intentionally covered up sexual assault that happened outside of the State House, and not one damn reporter in this community has the balls to ask him about it. Not one. Including Phil Williams. But they are supposedly, turn me back up. I need that volume. But they are supposedly the ones that are fair, arbiters of truth and justice. And we're supposed to just take here and accept that. And now comes true hate. Now, setting my little rant that I engaged in a second ago aside for a moment, you would think that if Phil Williams was interested in the truth, interested in telling all sides of the story, and particularly interested in hatred being mainstreamed, that he would offer a report on what happened to Ms. Moody, Representative Moody. I've seen nothing. They ignore basic facts and information, do these local investigators, when it does not fit the narrative that they choose to present to the people of this community. They only present that which furthers their narratives and benefits their friends. And these snotty, holier-than-thou media journalists will sit there and look at you in the eye and tell you with a straight face that they are fair, balanced, and impartial. Back to the phones. Bobby is next at 17 after 5 o'clock. Bobby, thank you for the call. How are you?
I'm very well until you said something about my sweet friend, Deborah Moody. We've been friends for a long time. By the way, I'm Bobby Petray, who's president of Tennessee Eagle
Yes,
Forum.
Ms. Bobby, I know you well. God bless you. Thank you for calling in.
And I have worked with her. Well, she was my longtime friend before she ever came to the legislature, and she's been an asset to that legislature. And there is nobody, I can hardly keep the tears back. There's more a lady than she is. She is a wonderful Christian who, when they had the reception for her on the floor, but you know that when you're going to not be elected again, they have a special thing for you. And so many of the legislators got up and said what a wonderful way it was that she talked to them, that she helped them, that she witnessed to them, that she prayed with them. And that's where she is as a person, and that's where her heart is. And for her to be treated in the way she was, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I can't say it any better than you said it, Miss Bobby. I don't know Deborah Moody, but no one who is attempting to serve their community deserves to be treated the way that she was treated.
And their Lord.
and their God. That's our God. No one deserves to be treated in that fashion.
No.
And I wish that I could tell you that I expected better from some of these folks that come down to just cause trouble and to disrupt the body. And unfortunately, I don't. I mean, they're being encouraged by people who want to see this type of disgusting behavior. But I don't know why, Miss Bobby, but I do expect more out of local television stations, that they would at very least cover this. And
cover it fairly.
And cover it fairly. And I've seen none of them cover what happened to her. I found out about it on social media over the weekend.
Well, I hadn't heard anything about it either, and I really am horrified, and I'm going to call her because I know she's heartbroken. I don't think she would be afraid, but just what happened and being treated that way. I mean, there's no way to even describe that, and especially then for it not to be treated as it should have been. you know, about what was going on around her and how she was being treated and what it meant. I mean, just the whole scummy thing, you know?
Well, when you call Ms. So you're saying she's not running again? Is she done?
Yes,
She's done. Tell her that we appreciate her service, and if she's like Ms. Bobby, if she'd like to come on the show and just talk about serving her community and her district, I'd love to have her on the show, and that I'm so very sorry about what happened to her.
Well, I will tell her that, and I hope she'll do that for you, because you will really enjoy getting to know her.
Well, thank you for calling and letting us know about your friend, and wish her well when you speak to her, would you?
I sure will.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, take care. There's Bobby Petraeus, great Tennessee native, 20 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll be back right after this. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for United Structural Systems. Obviously, you want not just another repair company when it comes to your home. I mean, this is the foundation of your world, your life, your family. Well, you want someone that's the local foundation and waterproofing experts, right? The trusted leader right here in our community. People that live here, work here, understand exactly how Tennessee soil, weather, and homes behave. They've been trusted in Tennessee since 1994, serving homeowners across Tennessee for over 30 years. That's over 30,000 satisfied local homeowners, customers that have trusted USS to do it the right way. That experience means that they've seen just about everything, but they also understand that every situation is one unto itself, and they need to examine yours to see how to read those signs and to see what solution is best for you. I encourage you to contact USS by going to their website. It's the easiest way, USSTN.com. USSTN.com. You'll get solutions that last, experts that are ready to act, and they'll come out and give you a free inspection at no charge to you. Problem solvers, experienced and local. USS. Go to USSTN.com. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk for a moment, fellas, about your health. You know, there's a place right here in Middle Tennessee with three Middle Tennessee locations and multiple locations outside of Middle Tennessee as well, ready, willing, and able to help you with regard to men-centric health. For a long time, that didn't exist. Evan Bass came along and he said, we need to change that. And so 2014, he started the Tennessee Men's Clinic right here in Middle Tennessee to serve you, gentlemen, to help figure out what's going on with you. Because, you know, in the modern era, you don't have to just accept that, you know, life has passed you by any longer, especially when it comes to intimate and romantic relationships. If you are unable to perform in a way that you used to be able to perform, if you're simply tired of that, and if you think that life has just passed you by, do not think it. Make the call. Get a visit scheduled. Get an appointment in. Go to see one of their qualified urologists. These local folks will check you over, get some blood work, and during that comprehensive examination, which will cost you less than $100, by the way, it's a $99 examination. First visit, they're going to come up with some solutions. Is it testosterone? Is it something else? Let's find out together with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. They have a location in Clarksville, which is brand new, just for you folks north of Nashville. Clarksville is the place you want to go. So tell them that I sent you to Clarksville when you make the call, or Nashville, or Cool Springs. It's the Tennessee Men's Clinic, online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. That number, 615-208-9090, 208-9090.
Law enforcement investigating a series of bomb threats that disrupted the school day for thousands of Tennessee students today. And the U.S. Supreme Court has sided with Alabama lawmakers seeking to implement a new congressional voting map. Got these stories and more at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
There is Ken Weaver. He is just a voice of reason in a sea of confusion and uncertainty. And he comes to us at about 5:30, mere moments from now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was looking for my, fellas, I was looking for my nincompoop. I had, you know what, I'll admit that I had some assistance in this. Oh, maybe it's over here on the, hold on a second.
That'd be too bad if you couldn't find it, Brother Murphy.
I bet you think that. Hey, did you see we got the trophy back? Hey, is it just me?
Where is that trophy?
Hold on a second. Is it just me or... Oh, all right. So
what those hand boys do to it?
Here's a trophy. Now I haven't seen. You know, I'm the possessor of the trophy this week and the crown.
Yes, sir.
Here you go. If you're watching on Talk TV, that's how we work.
There you go.
Ken, I haven't seen the trophy in a while.
Yes.
And so I'm going to defer to you on this. And RJ, I know you probably haven't noticed. Does this cup look smaller?
It's about the same size.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it a lot more than me, Ken. I don't know. It felt smaller. Now, maybe it's just because I haven't seen it in so long. But there it is. There's the crown.
You think the Han family did a switcheroo on it?
That was what I will admit to you, Ken, that I would not suggest as much, but the thought crossed my mind.
It has occurred to you.
The thought, when I thought to myself, Self, the cup seems smaller. And then immediately I thought, that Han family stole the cup. And then immediately I thought, well, they would never do that. And then immediately I thought, well, yes, they certainly would.
I could never tell you. I've never won the cup to notice.
Well, I don't think this is your week either, RJ, because today's your only day. So we got to get Jackson. Well, maybe if he remains incarcerated by the Gulf Shores authorities. Someone wrote in last hour and suggested that the folks that Jackson's spending some time with in the Gulf Shores Correctional Facility are probably drawing script A's on his hiney with burned matches. You know who said that, Ken? The redheaded stranger, Pamela Furr. She said, I bet they're drawing, I bet they're lighting matches, and with the ash, they're drawing a script A right there on his fanny.
Until he says, roll tide!
Roll tide! That hurt, it burns, y'all! Smokey!
I think you broke Ken, Matt.
Smokey, help me! Begging for the dog. We'll have Jackson tell us all about his fun times down on the correctional grounds of the Gulf Shores detentional facility when he comes back.
That's a good one.
Hey, this is great because Mike and Old Hickory is off subject, and I've only got 30 seconds. Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
What's up?
Trump going to China Wednesday.
China.
What do you think?
China.
Going to China. Going to see Xi. And guess what? Trump's going to say, you better tell Iran to give up now or else. What's China going to do? And why is Trump willing to go so fast to China? Because he's going to tell Xi, if you want oil, buy it from the U.S. because we got it. You can get it stable with a good, stable price. Let's cut out Iran. And so, you know what, Matt? Donald Trump is now 2 or 3 chess moves ahead.
Always. Always, my friend. What a great call. Mike, your calls have gotten better and better, especially as they've gotten shorter and shorter. It's 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Got to look at traffic, too. A series of bomb threats disrupted the school day for thousands of Tennessee students today. Authorities say they are investigating after lockdowns were put in place in Williamson, Rutherford, Davidson, and Madison counties. Officials say the incident's likely part of a coordinated hoax targeting schools statewide. Police stress that every threat is treated as real until proven otherwise. They did not find anything threatening in any of those calls today or those threats, but they are investigating to find the source. U.S. Supreme Court siding with Alabama today. That's Alabama lawmakers who are seeking to implement a new congressional voting map. This move clears the way for the state to revisit district lines after the court recently ruled race cannot be the reason for redistricting. And the Supreme Court giving itself more time in a case that could limit access to the abortion pill mifepristone. An order from Justice Samuel Alito extends a temporary block of a lower court decision. The challenged ruling would undo federal rules allowing the medication to be sent by mail. Full access remains in effect until at least Thursday. And President Trump criticizing the response he says he got from Iran, telling reporters the U.S. is poised to restart hostilities. President also says he is contemplating waiving the gas tax with gas prices rising.
Yeah, I'm going to reduce until let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock.
Without a gas tax, the national average for a gallon of regular could get reduced to around $4.29 per gallon. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Metro Center got a disabled vehicle on the shoulder 65 northbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Still got this injury crash showing in Woodbine, Nashville Pike, or rather Nolensville Pike there at Thompson Lane. Then in East Nashville, Shelby Avenue at 6th Street. Woodbine, another crash, 440 westbound at Nolensville Pike, and it is complete stop and go eastbound 24 from 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, folks. Matt Murphy here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You know, Dr. Mitchell sponsors Nincompoops in the News, and I would suggest that he's a lot better than that. But he likes to have a lot of fun with Nincompoops in the News. Look, in all seriousness, Dr. Mitchell understands how to laugh. He gets a lot out of life in that regard, and he is great for us and a lot of fun, and he sponsors the Nincompoops Trophy. But more importantly, he is your sponsor for a pain-free life. He can help you lead to that pain-free life through a series of incredible advancements in medical technology that he promotes at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Things like spinal decompression, which was new years ago, and he was a part of bringing that to our community at the time that it came, and it has helped so many people live pain-free lives, including yours truly, myself. I have received spinal decompression over the years for my lower back pain. Secondarily, he now has the incredible Medical Bay 1 that Dr. Mitchell put together for himself. Futuristic healing that massages your body while helping you with full-body laser treatments. It also adds to stem cell stimulation, which helps tissue regeneration that accelerates healing. It's an advanced way of saying this is Star Trek kind of stuff, folks. It helps the healing process, which gets you pain-free without popping pills, without shooting up needles, or without considering surgery, and that is what it's all about. Give them a call today. Their epic spinal special going on right now, $33 off each visit. Painisbad.com, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009, 246-5009. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Pleased you've decided to join us, spend a little time with us. Whatever time you're able to give us, we're certainly appreciative. We got newbies coming on board every moment of every afternoon. Some of you are with us for the full 4 hours. Some of you have been with us for the entirety of our 1,034 episodes that we've been here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Either way, we certainly appreciate you. Whatever time you're able to give us, we're thankful. Now, that said, some of you, and I think RJ was helpful on the Super Text line, some of you are asking questions, and if a few questions come in on the Super Text line, there's probably plenty more asking the question in their automobiles, their homes, their places of business, and that would be, what happened to Deborah Moody? So if you're just joining us, we were talking with Bobby Petray about it. Deborah Moody is a sitting representative in the House. She's retiring after this session. She came back for special session. She voted in favor of the congressional redistricting, and she left the office and left the State House, I should say, the House of Representatives chamber, and she went outside and was walking down the steps in an attempt to get back over to Cordell Hull to her office or to her automobile. I don't know where she was going. A group of people filming themselves, mind you, descended upon her and started screaming the worst things imaginable at her, calling her a bleeping this and a bleeping that, and telling her that she was a racist and telling her that they hoped that she died, ridiculing her for having difficulty walking. I mean, they were mocking her for having difficulty walking down the steps. Indicated that they hoped that she had children. They hoped that her children got raped. And much, much worse. And it's just, you will not be able to convince me, as much as this is going around the intraweb, as many reporters as it seems were there on scene. There are people walking around. You can see them taking photographs. Now, there were plenty of people that were filming themselves as they were ridiculing Representative Moody, as they were mocking her, as they were just screaming the worst things imaginable to this older woman. And it doesn't matter, older, younger, male, female. It doesn't matter. Black, white, doesn't matter. I thought, settled years ago that this was unacceptable behavior. This is hate. Hate on Main Street, Phil. Yet no one in the mainstream media, in television news, is reporting on any of this. Why? Why? Earnest question. Why? Armchair PD says, move on, get back to aliens. All right, why? Why do you want to get back to aliens? If you want to get back to aliens, the phone number is available to you. Call me and let's get back to aliens. Otherwise, why are you trying to get off this subject? Why is it, let's not talk about the fact that a bunch of black people were treating a white person this way and no one wants to speak about it because it's acceptable? This should not be acceptable behavior. We should not accept, that's just the way things are. I understand how mistreated. I understand my history. I understand how mistreated black Americans were. And I am ashamed that that happened. I said years ago, because there was a big debate going on and a lot of people were pushing back. This was in Birmingham, Alabama. And my good friend Jay St. Clair taught me something one day. And I'll tell the story real quick and then we'll get into nincompoops. Because there was a push to have the state of Alabama offer a resolution apologizing for the institution of slavery. All right? This was back probably 2003, maybe 2004. Yeah, 03, 04, maybe 05. I got to Birmingham in 03, and this happened sometime soon after I was in Birmingham, so probably 04. And there was a push to have the institution of the House of Representatives and the Senate, the legislature, pass a resolution apologizing for the institution of slavery and Alabama's participation in it. And I'm like, no, I just pushed back on it. It's like, no one here is responsible for that. No one here had anything to do with it. And all the things that I said at the time are true. No one is alive that was responsible for the institution of slavery. No one in modern America was alive that was enslaved. And I was talking with Jay St. Clair about it one day. And this was on the air. And I was, pushing back. I was like, no, this is stupid. This should not happen. And Jay said something that opened my eyes and changed my heart on the matter. He said, if you're asking me, I said, I didn't have anything to do with any of that. I didn't have a single thing to do with any of what we're talking about. But if you're asking me if I'm sorry that it happened, well, of course I am. Of course I am. And I am too. Of course I'm sorry that that happened years and years and years and years and years ago. Of course I am sorry that in the 1940s and 1950s and 1960s that African Americans, what we would have referred to at the time as black Americans, and we refer to them now as black Americans, they could not get a fair shake. I'm sorry that that happened. But this is not about repairing any of that. This is about this is like a revenge tour. This is like vengeance. This is hypocrisy. And it's gross. It's shameful, and it should be exposed as the hatred that it is, as the racism that it is. Why wouldn't we do that if our goal is equality, equal treatment under the law, not revenge? All right. With that heavy-minded thought, it's 45 after the hour. Time to turn to the lighter side of the news with Ninkham.
Nincompoops in the news.
That's right. It is time, friends, for Nincompoops in the news. An opportunity for RJ, in the absence of Jackson Williams, who's incarcerated in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach. We're not sure which. In his absence, RJ's here. Ken Weaver is presenting himself today. Hello, Ken Weaver.
How about you boys?
What's going on, RJ?
Not too much. Just excited to see where this one goes today.
I'm here as well, and we're going to look all across the state of Tennessee, all across these United States of America.
Nay, the globe!
You said it, Weaver! We're going to look where those nincompoops live and breathe, and we're going to find them. We're going to bring them to you. I almost committed a cardinal sin, boys.
What?
Well, I had a story up, and I think we did it last week.
Oh.
Did we, By the way, RJ, did you tell me that I won or Ken won on the online poll? Because I totaled up the other numbers, and Ken and I are within 3 votes of one another on the text line from Friday, which means while that was a friendly match, I retained the trophy this week. Thank you very much. But this can determine who determines the order. So who won on the online YouTube poll?
On the online YouTube poll, Ken Weaver was the dominated victor by 60% of the vote.
Fiddlesticks! Fiddlesticks! Fiddlesticks!
I don't even know why I asked old RJ anything. Ken Weaver.
I got to report the vote honestly.
Yeah, well, no, you're a good man. You should. You should.
I'm not Fulton County.
That's right. You're like the Secretary of State over there. Ken, that means you get to pick the batting order, sir.
Well, we're going to have to go Weaver.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have to go RJ.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brother Murphy.
Uh-huh. Okie dokie.
So here we go, boys. This here is out of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. WKRC reporting a man reportedly smashed through a hospital wall, said he needed to go for a walk.
This is the one I thought we did last week. I don't think we did it.
We didn't.
Dadgummit.
But I'm doing it right now.
Oh, so I can't do it anyway. Okay, go.
According to a criminal complaint and affidavit of probable cause obtained by local outlet Explore Jefferson, 50-year-old Andrew Robert Barton Jr. was running through the Punxsutawney area hospital as hospital staff chased him on April 29th. The employees reportedly lost sight of Barton, contacted authorities around 11:25 p.m. at night. Investigators arrived and discovered a section of broken drywall in the hallway. Upon reviewing surveillance video, Barton was reportedly seen walking through the hospital's parking lot. A canine unit tracked Barton through multiple residential backyards and eventually into the woods. Barton's hospital gown was found discarded on a power line. That means he's naked out there.
He's naked.
Investigators wrote in the criminal complaint that Barton was eventually discovered in the woods, completely nude. He attempted to give police a fake name and birthday.
A fake name and
a birthday. But he was quickly identified as Barton, probably because he was naked. Barton reportedly told police he smashed through the wall because it was the, quote, fastest way out, and that he needed to go for a walk. He allegedly said he believed the drywall was a door. Barton was charged with indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, loitering, prowling at nighttime, false identification of law enforcement, and criminal mischief.
Yeah, that criminal mischief. That'll get you.
He just needed to go for a walk.
Yeah, I mean, naked, without any ID, and, well, I don't know where you put it. Out in the woods.
Near the hospital.
Yeah,
smashing through walls.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got to tell you, I can't think with this crown on. Let me tell you.
It gets painful
after
a little bit.
Well, I mean, my entire focus is it not falling off my head, so I can't even
So the
think
crown makes you a nincompoop.
Yeah, a little bit. I should be your nincompoop today, RJ, so you don't steal one of my stories, too. No?
No. I got a good one.
All
and
right.
I know none of y'all have it.
Okay, let's go.
All right. This one comes from the home state, actually, all the way back in Missouri. Missouri man finalizes divorce with his wife after discovering 7-year affair with his brother-in-law.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
Good gummit.
Wait a minute. Now say that again.
Yeah, that's...
Finalizes his divorce after discovering 7-year affair with his brother-in-law.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't that be her brother?
No, it's the so the wife had a sister and she was seeing the brother or the husband.
Oh, okay. So it's the husband of the wife's sister.
Yes.
Man,
Okay.
you Missouri folk.
Well, you got to show them.
You got to show.
So to get to this story, this Missouri man, came home, found his wife in bed with her sister's husband and the sister. Get this. This is where it gets crazy. And apparently they've been doing this for several years. She really wanted to marry this guy. And according to the news story, they were sharing the husband for several years, on and off.
Oh, man. Ugh.
Divorce proceedings closed last week, and the Missouri man, who is not named in this article, unfortunately, and I can imagine why he wouldn't want to be, is reported as having said to his wife, "The next thing I hope you share with your sister is a coffin."
Oh, wow. A lot of nincompoops in that story. That's awful. That's just...
That's not very nice.
That's no good. I'll tell you what else is not very nice. Are you done, RJ?
That
was a good one. That's a good story. A German court has ordered by the way, don't judge me because this is my backup story because Ken Weaver stole my real story. Okay, y'all don't judge me. But then I was doubting that real story anyway because I thought we might have done that story last week, but I guess we didn't. I need to pay more attention to my own show. A German court has ordered a tour operator to pay a cash settlement to a tourist because the tourist was unable to find a vacant sun lounging chair at a resort in Greece. The Hanover court awarded the equivalent of $1,200 American dollars to a plaintiff who sued the German tour operator TU Deutschland after he was unable to get sun loungers on his family vacation in 2024. According to the family, they booked an 11-night vacation package at the Kos Imperial on the Greek island of Kos, paying roughly $8,500. August peak vacation month for European families, and they had difficulty securing lounge chairs despite the fact that the brochure said that there would be chairs available and marked as reserved.
Chairs aplenty.
In German, there's a word for this, and it's Handtuchkrieg, which means, I'm not making this up, towel wars, which describes the practice of using towels to reserve sun loungers. The man said he rose early every morning on the 11-day stay to check for available sun loungers, but he was met by Handtuchkrieg, which is the towel thing that I just described. And over the course of his vacation, he only found one single lounger for his entire family of 4. His children had to put their towels on the ground nearby. He was awarded for his trouble $1,200. And for this, I say this tourist operator, for paying this amount of money, they're nincompoops because that's stupid. That's dumb. You shouldn't expect a guaranteed lounger in the middle of summer, in the middle of a resort, on vacation. It's a first come, first served deal,
yes, sir.
Boys.
Yes, sir.
First come and first serve.
Putting your towels on the ground like animals.
My goodness gracious. Although I will say, have y'all ever been to one of these places where they have just a certain number of them and then the people put their crap on one and then they're gone?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I'm around, that crap goes on the floor or on the ground or on the sand. And then I will look them in the eyes and go, I don't know what you're talking about.
Boy, that's a shame.
That's tough because that was over there when I got here, and this was empty.
That's a shame.
That's
now get
too
out
bad.
of my son.
That's too bad. By the way, have you heard of Handtuchkrieg? Because you just became victim of one. That's how we play Ninkham Said the News. You can vote for Matt Murphy. I would encourage that. You can vote for RJ if you must. Hit that music there, RJ.
Vote for Brother Ken
Hit that
Weaver.
music one more time. That's right. We always like hearing that one more time. You can vote for Weaver. You can vote for RJ. You want him to vote for you, RJ?
I would like him to vote for me so I can get my first win.
Well,
I'd like to walk away with it just once.
you don't want to be responsible for RJ's first time. Okay, guys? So, just me saying that.
Hey, I'm saying I think I had a contender.
I think you had a shot at it. Those
That's a
Missouri,
pretty good one, Brother RJ.
Missouri folk are weird. 7-year, just shenanigans over there in Missouri.
Show me.
It's show me. Zip. Oh no, I didn't. That's how we do it. We'll take a short time out. Be back in a moment. Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Vote RJ and get me my first win.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. It's hard to find someone you can trust when it comes to a home repair like your HVAC, but you can trust Jeff Eddy, and I'm a testimony to that level of trust. And I'm here to tell you that when it comes time to call when your AC just goes kaput, or if you're not sure whether it's kaput or not, maybe get an opinion from Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. If you've been told by anyone that it's time to replace that heating and air conditioning unit of yours, especially this time of year, you want to try to get another year of life out of that AC, do so with Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. Their second opinions are the best in the business when it comes to recommending what you need to do. They'll give you options, and then they'll initiate a cost-effective plan of action to save you money. When it's time, they're an Elite Pro partner with Ream. They can help you out in that regard. They'll find the right unit for you and your family. They've done this with my family. They can do it with yours. Go to HVAC.net. That's efficienthvac.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Tennessee law enforcement investigating after a wave of bomb threats made against several high schools. Campuses in Franklin, Smyrna, Laverne, Antioch, and Jackson were among those placed on lockdown. This student at Antioch telling Channel 4.
It's really scary. It's like, at first, we didn't know it was a bomb. They just told us it was a lockdown until, like, students keep telling each other, oh, yeah, like, I heard this, I heard that. And it was just like, oh, a bomb. Like, oh, that's scary.
Authorities say no credible threats were confirmed. No one was hurt. The Tennessee Department of Safety says the investigation's ongoing to find the source. Abortion pill access remains unchanged after the Supreme Court extended a temporary pause today. The justices reviewing a case that would restrict mifepristone nationwide. A lower court has ruled against federal rules permitting mail delivery without an in-person visit. That decision remains on hold as the high court weighs next steps. President Trump says that latest peace offer from Iran is, quote, stupid.
It's a very simple plan. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they didn't want to go that far. If you can believe it, they didn't. How stupid? Are they stupid people? They didn't want to believe it. They think that, well, I'll get tired of this, or I'll get bored, or I'll have some pressure, but there's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. We're going to have a complete victory. We've already, in theory, had a complete victory from the military standpoint.
And Karen Travers says this comes just days before President Trump goes to China.
White House officials say the president will be going and will be trying to put pressure on China because of their economic and diplomatic relationship with Tehran. China is the largest purchaser of Iranian oil, so look for the president to be using that as leverage to try to get China to put pressure on Iran to make a deal.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rivergate still showing a crash 65 northbound before Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. Injury crash, Brick Church Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. Still got a lot of brake tapping, stop and go eastbound 24 from 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Final hour of the show starts right now, 6 minutes after 6 o'clock. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. Whatever time you're able to give us, we're certainly appreciative of it. We've got a lot to get into the final hour of the show. You're invited to be a part of it. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. You can either call us on the phone lines, open phone lines available to you always, or you're welcome to offer your opinion on the super text line. You can also look me up on a variety of social media platforms. I'm just about everywhere, man. People get amazed because you can find my cell number if you want it. I mean, I wouldn't ask you to abuse that cell number, but I'm kind of an open book. At Matt Murphy Show. You can find me anywhere. At Matt Murphy Show on the X machine. I'm Matt Murphy Show on Facebook. Matt Murphy on Facebook too, but I think I'm limited to 5,000 followers or whatever on the personal side. But then that's why we created the show page. Same thing happens on the show page that happens on the personal page, so you're not missing anything if you follow one or the other. Instagram, there's the I'm on the gram every once in a while. Everything else, it's very rare and occasional. TikTok, I'm never on Threads. I have an account on Threads. I have an account on Blue Sky, but mainly I go on Blue Sky to watch liberals freak out. And freak out, liberals have been doing absolute delusion and insanity. I want to play you this. Give me a little audio video if you're able over there, RJ. I want to play you this. This is a level of insanity from the political left that is quite amazing. I'm doubling up for some reason, and I don't think it's coming from me. Is there something up over there? When I pull my audio out of my host PC, then it's doubling up, and I've got everything muted in here. Make sure you're muted over there, RJ, if you don't mind. And if it doesn't work out, I can just tell everybody about it. But hello. You got it fixed too. There you go. This is, I think this is safe for air, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just listen to this real quick. This is from. You got to give me my host PC. You got to give me that on. See, that's what's causing the double. And I don't know what's causing.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's putting your PC on there.
Well, let's see. Take away that. And this is on mute. So that shouldn't be the problem. Let's see. All right, try one. Checking in one. Yeah, see, I don't know. There's something going on. There's something unmuted. I think all of my stuff's muted, so shouldn't be me. It's one of these Hollywood elitist types that has declared with absolute delusion and insanity they are a cult of Hollywood leftists that pretend to know how the real world acts. This guy was he was on the Breaking Bad series, and Variety magazine asked him what should happen next, and he said there needs to be a revolution in the United States of America, and that revolution should involve, people taking up arms against their nation and removing the current elected officials and replacing them with individuals of their choosing, which doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense in a freedom-loving society, but that's where Hollywood is. Tennessee Attorney General, I should say, Jonathan Skrmetti has moved to halt progress on the lawsuit by the NAACP, blocking Tennessee's new congressional maps from taking effect. He argued the litigation can't move forward until the Tennessee Supreme Court decides whether to appoint a 3-judge panel to oversee the case. He cited 2021 legislation requiring that any civil litigation challenging the constitutionality of a state statute be assigned to such a panel, as well as newly passed legislation imposing the same requirement for challenges to redistricting. The Friday filing automatically halts progress on this lawsuit until the state Supreme Court makes its decision. In addition to staying the lawsuit pending such a decision, the filing also previewed how Skrmetti's office intends to defend redistricting if the Tennessee Supreme Court allows the litigation to move forward. And this, we wanted to talk with Skrmetti a little about this, but he's issued this statement, and his office tells me that they are loath to say much else about it because of their desire to prevent any suggestion. they don't want to preview the case on platforms such as this. I guess I kind of get that. I just want to find out more about the procedure. The filing notes lawmakers recently repealed legislation that empowered any Tennessean to sue the state, that neither Governor Bill Lee nor the General Assembly waived their immunity in relation to the redistricting effort. It also responds to a key claim in the NAACP lawsuit, which argues that Tennessee's redistricting legislation is unconstitutional because it exceeded the parameters of a proclamation Governor Bill Lee signed to call the General Assembly into special session to begin with. According to the filing from his office, the governor's proclamation was sufficiently broad because it called for, quote, making statutory changes that are necessary to effectuate changes in the composition of Tennessee's congressional district. And in order to facilitate the 2026 congressional elections, leaving all the General Assembly's actions squarely within the bounds of Lee's directive. In other words, this lawsuit has no merit and ought to be dismissed immediately and with proper haste. The question has always been whether or not we have the time in order to do this, not whether or not the state of Tennessee has the authority. In the meantime, Democrats are absolutely losing their minds. And I was going to play, and we won't be able to play it just because we got a little technical snafu going on, but I was going to play the audio from Justin Pearson over the weekend when he said that it was unconscionable, and that's my word, not his. It was unconscionable that anyone Republican would have the audacity to try to run in a majority black district, that white people ought not to be telling the majority black district what to do ultimately. And I'm thinking, well, and that they can govern themselves just fine, thank you very much. And that they've got this, thank you very much. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, if everything was happening as it should, if you believed that the congressional delegation was being governed just fine, then can you explain to me why you're running against Steve Cohen in the current 9th district? Does that make any sense? Why would anyone who says that everything's going just hunky-dory in the congressional district, why would that person go on to run against the individual that is in charge of the congressional district that you say is just fine? In other words, you obviously wanted a change in representation before the change in the district map, but now you're saying that anyone desiring a change in representation because you don't believe that Memphis is getting the representation they deserve is racist as a result. Huh. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. Also, my computers just went off for some reason. Just FYI. All of them. They just went blank. I don't know why. Well, a lot of things going on in here. 615-737-9986. The Democrat state lawmaker, a Democrat state lawmaker is currently calling for the city of Memphis to secede. We talked to you about this on Friday. It's amusing, to say the least, and it's not concerning whatsoever, but, I mean, it's funny. A lot of memes and a lot of jokes about it over the weekend. The lawmaker, Antonio Parkinson, state representative from Memphis, is demanding that the city secede from the state, attempting to highlight that he doesn't believe the state currently represents the values of the city of Memphis. It's funny. This is kind of a bit of a role reversal because for years the state has been begging the city to secede, and now the city, at least through their representation, they're demanding that they be allowed to secede themselves, which just doesn't make a lot of sense. That lawmaker, you might recall that Parkinson, we brought him up. I've tried to get him on the show in the past. Parkinson called for the portion of Tennessee from the eastern border of Nashville, Davidson County, to Memphis, Shelby County, and to the Mississippi River to establish itself as West Tennessee and go ahead and secede from the rest of the state. He's generating plenty of headlines and plenty of laughs because of that. He was among the Tennessee Democrats who, soon after the Butler, Pennsylvania attempt on Donald Trump's life, suggested that this was staged, the most disgusting type of language you can imagine. They tried to kill. They tried to kill they tried to kill Donald Trump in a field in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I understand that there are many questions regarding that act and not a lot of answers. In the immediate aftermath of that act, Parkinson wrote, "I certainly hope this is not a staged act." And then he put an eye roll emoji and then added, "but," with an ellipse, ... Amid his remarks about secession in West Tennessee, Parkinson live-streamed participation in a protest that erupted at the Capitol as the General Assembly passed the legislation. Parkinson appearing to say at the beginning of the live stream, "Here we go," before later joining the crowd in a chorus of boos. He's now floating secession as a possible opportunity for the people of Memphis, which, I mean, wait, you're just going to create your own state? Well, good luck with that. Secession efforts historically in the United States of America have led to conflict. And I would hate to see West Tennessee in conflict with the rest of the state, but typically that conflict has a victor, and those victors decide where the boundaries truly are. In the meantime, speaking of the new district maps, Representative Todd Warner, who is known to us on this radio show, you might recall Todd Warner, there's a Phil Williams connection with Todd Warner. Todd Warner and I got sideways years ago. You longtime listeners of the show might remember this. I was upset because Warner lied. Todd Warner recorded himself in a conversation with a lobbyist organization. I want to say it was AFP, and I think that's correct. But Representative Todd Warner recorded a conversation that he had with, I think it was Tory Venable of Americans for Prosperity, if I'm not mistaken. And he then passed that recording on to local, intrepid investigative reporter Phil Williams, who thought he had a great scoop at News Channel 5 about Tory Venable. Tory Venables was lobbying Todd Warner for his vote and, was hoping that she could turn him into a yes vote. And I don't even remember what the legislation was about. We had Todd Warner on the show, and I directly asked him who recorded this conversation, and he said, "I don't know." And I had asked Tory Venables, "Who recorded this conversation?" And she said, "It was not me. I didn't record anything." Well, in the state of Tennessee, if a conversation is recorded, one of the two parties involved in the conversation has to be the one doing the reporting or the recording. Otherwise, that is an illegal act, and it needs to be fully investigated as an illegal act. And that means that Phil Williams used the fruit of an illegal act to report on the conversation itself, and that in and of itself would have been complicit within the illegal act. And so I questioned Todd Warner on whether or not he recorded it. Everybody knows that Todd Warner recorded it. Todd Warner lied to me on my radio show, and I called him out on it, and he has had his little booty hurt about it since then. He is very butthurt over the fact that someone had the audacity to call him out on a lie, and I still say that he lied about it. Regardless of how he's represented his district, if you'll lie to me, you'll lie to the state of Tennessee, right? Well, Todd Warner has since been thick as thieves with Representative Afton Bain, Democrat. He had been seen repeatedly running around the halls of the Tennessee General Assembly with Afton. She's his good friend. And, I don't know how they became friends. I don't know if she's supportive of his run in the 9th Congressional District or not, but I know that they've been very friendly with one another, and I think they've co-sponsored legislation together, been seen in the halls together. One way or the other, that is an aside. Todd Warner has announced that regardless of our past, Todd Warner has announced that he wishes to represent Tennessee's new 9th Congressional District by announcing his candidacy for Congress. I have invited Todd to come back on the show. He's welcome anytime to talk about why he believes he is the best man for the job. From Chapel Hill, Tennessee, He announced today, Tennessee Representative Todd Warner announced his candidacy for the campaign for the United States Congress in Tennessee's newly redrawn 9th Congressional District. A farmer, small business owner, 8th-generation Tennessean, and unapologetic conservative, Warner is entering the race as a proven fighter who has never been afraid to stand against the political machine. I got a quote for him in just a moment. I'll share that quote with you, get your thoughts on his presence in the election. We'll also talk about gasoline taxes. Donald Trump indicated his willingness to pause. You know what I'd like to do with the gas tax? I'd like to pause it forever. How about that? How about we pause the federal gasoline tax forever? Does that sound good to everybody? We'll discuss on Super Talk 99.7 WTN 22 after the hour. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Let's talk about the end of the month. That's right. It's coming. It'll be here before you know it. May 30th is around the corner. Have you marked your calendars? Have you marked your calendars for the Clock Store open house? You need to. It's going to be huge, as Donald Trump would say. Huge. I didn't think it could get any better than last year. We were there last year, and man, in the course of 4 hours, they gave away like $25,000 worth of gear and merchandise and Glocks. Did you know this year they're giving away 3 separate Glocks? 3 Glocks, plus red dot optics and so many other accessories, more than you can shake a stick at, just any number of gifts, totaling, I'm told, up to $50,000. They're doubling up, baby, at the Clock Store this open house. Need to get out there. Mark those calendars from 10 until 2. Of course, I'll be there. Dan Mandis will be there. Chris Hand will be there. We'd love to see you. And more importantly, they would love to see you from the Clock Store. You know who else is going to be there? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm going to pull this curtain back, too. Cabana wife, Brian Wilson's wife, Cabana wife, is going to be selling cookies at the Clock Store. And if you've never had one of these cookies, that's reason enough to go right there. Then the raffle and the incredible gear and the savings and the accessories and all of the rest of the food trucks and whatnot will be at the Clock Store as well. Go to clockstore.com for more information or shoot270.com for more info on the facility. They're right off of Elm Hill Pike on Airlane Drive. Elm Hill Pike, of course, is right off of Briley Parkway, which is convenient from anywhere within the sound of my voice. We want to see you at the end of the month at the one and only Clock Store. Hello, folks. Matt Murphy for my friends at Eurofix. For 26 years, Aaron Stokes has been or had been trying to help people at Eurofix who owned European automobiles find a better brand of service, a better brand of mechanic, and he did it for 26 years. We've lost Aaron, but Eurofix continues to live up to the legacy that he left behind. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all repairs that they perform. And at below dealer pricing, you don't have to put up with getting ghosted by a dealer, and you don't have to put up with those dealer prices. When you are told you get a call back, you get a call back from Eurofix. They fix everything. Rental cars available at every appointment and locations near you. Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. They are not your typical garage. The waiting rooms are clean and comfortable. The service areas are spotless. They care about everything from the moment they see your car until the moment that they deliver the fixed vehicle back to you. MyEurofix.com. That's MyEurofix.com or 844-EUROFIX. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you until 7 o'clock tonight. Would love to hear from you. You're always invited to be a part of the show. By the way, I mentioned that I had contacted a lot of the local congressional contingent. I heard back from John Rose, and we plan on having John on at some point over the course of the week. We'll also have Matt Van Epps on at 4 o'clock or somewhere in the 4 o'clock hour coming up Thursday. Still waiting to hear back from Andy Ogles. Still waiting to hear back from, well, I kind of left it with Scott Desjardins. We asked Scott a couple of times last week, 3 to be precise, if he had any opportunity to come on. I understand that congressmen don't like their cheese getting moved around, and I figured that they would be willing to, probably, didn't like it very much, but at least willing to speak about some of the new congressional lines that were being drawn. I spoke to someone in David Kustoff's office, and we're working on a time this week. At least we have communicated. I spoke directly to Desjardins, and he essentially said no. He doesn't want to talk about it. That's what he told me. I'm shortening the answer, but that was the answer. I said, do you want to talk about this? And he said he wanted it to play out, and then once it had played out, I asked him on Thursday if he had a chance to come on, and he goes, no, I'm just going to sit this one out. And I was like, okay, well, and what I said to Representative Scott Desjardins is, you just let me know when you want to speak to the people of your district again, and we'll have you back on. And I'm about to get to that point with all of these people. And I'm not trying to be personal with any of them. Some of them are very fine folk. But just to peel the curtain back a little bit, when there's something they want to promote, they're all about it. When there's something that they believe is positive for them, that they can pitch to their district, they're all about it. All about it. But when it's a tougher conversation amongst friends, mind you, when there is a tougher conversation to have with the people of their congressional district, when there is a more difficult conversation to have with the people of the state of Tennessee, they get real busy, at least between 3 and 7. Now, perhaps that is a failure of mine, and I'm willing to accept a certain bit of responsibility, or maybe it's a failure of theirs. One way or the other, I don't think it serves the people that I consider to be my bosses. You, every single one of you. I serve at your pleasure. Y'all understand that, right? I'm here to first and foremost entertain you. That's it. Through entertaining you with what I hope to be an enjoyable, informative talk radio experience, hopefully we can get to the bottom of some of these issues, make you a more informed audience. I'll get informed too, because you guys teach me something every single day. And, we get educated that way. That's how we move the ball forward and hold on to the values that we hold so dear, liberty and freedom and such. I don't want to be here to serve elected officials that only want to answer to their constituencies when they can talk about what great things they're doing and not have some of the harder decision-making conversations. Does that make sense to anyone? And once again, this is not against any one particular person. I can't get Ogles to call me back. He's just absent in all of this conversation. It's just something that I've been throwing around for some time now, that if the elected servants of the people want to speak to the people, then I guess they can just call me, because I've had it about up to here with trying to call them. And once again, it's not for me, it's for you. I mean, that's the way I look at it. 31, almost 32 past the hour. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to speak to you a moment about your health. Are you feeling not yourself? Are you just low down, run down? You feel like you need to go to someone, and you call up your doctor, and what happens? Well, odds are, if you have a typical medical provider, they'll say something along the lines, oh, yeah, we can get you in. What about next Wednesday? And you're like, 2 days from now? No, next Wednesday. That's not the way that it should be, folks. At Grace Point Healthcare, that's not the way that it is. They get you into their office in a timely fashion, even for brand new patients. And when they do so, you don't have to sit around in their waiting area and wait for unseemly amounts of time. They get you back to the office very quickly, and they see you very quickly because they understand your time's valuable too. They're a direct pay primary care physician's practice, meaning that they don't allow the insurance company in that room with you. That means that you make decisions with your doctor for your best health benefit. That's what it ought to be about. Now, you can file with your insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. That's the bottom line, too. And with your new big, beautiful bill HSA savings possibility. You can sign up for the basic Smart Care plan, which is $99 a month for grown-ups and $79 a month for the kids. Use your HSA plan to pay for that and don't have to worry about office visits throughout the course of the year. They're absolutely at no additional cost if you sign up for the basic Smart Care plan. Plus, you get free basic labs and diagnostics. That's what it's all about at Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Call today in Franklin, 599-6868. 599-6868. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy. We're hearing about mortgage rate fluctuation in the industry. Accurate Mortgage understands that can freak people out, especially if you're considering a refinance, if you're considering trying to pay down some high-interest credit card debt, or maybe you're thinking about moving into a new home. You know, I was in your position last December, and I was looking at rates, and I was talking to Accurate Mortgage, talking to Mike and the rest of the team that he has with them, and they're so good at what they do. And they were like, Murphy, we're going to get into a honey spot where the housing prices are where they are, and housing prices have gone down. The supply of available houses in Nashville have gone up, and so the prices are mitigating to a certain degree, and those interest rates are staying where they are, and that is a recipe for success if you're thinking about buying a house. Plus, we don't want you to lose the savings in your wallet to the interest rate in your head. That means that there's a possibility for you to save money through refinance and consolidation of high-interest debt. Or if you're thinking about building onto your home, there's a great opportunity for you to do that as well, to do some money for purchase or to pay off those interest rates or to renovate your current home. Give them a call today, or better yet, go on their website at accuratemtg.com, accuratemtg.com, Accurate Mortgage, NMLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. They are an equal housing lender. Best reaction that I've gotten all day, and we've talked about a lot of things over the course of the day today with Ken Weaver back in News Closet B, RJ at the controls, Matt Murphy, your humble host and correspondent until 7 o'clock tonight. The most and best reaction we have gotten is from what many consider to be my moronic stand. That's at least what one person has referred to it as, that we've never been visited by extraterrestrial alien life. Just where I'm at on it. I know a lot of people get worked up. There are connective psychological tissues between how people reacted to the release of the JFK information and how people are reacting to the release of the UFO information. People want to believe that there's a piece of paper somewhere buried in all of that paperwork regarding JFK that says, hey, Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone, and here were his co-conspirators, Jack Ruby, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Fidel Castro, the CIA, every name ever mentioned in Oliver Stone's JFK will be right there on the list. And that's just not the way that it is. I understand that there have been questions raised within the reporting of the JFK assassination that are interesting. I studied up on it when I was a youth, a wee lad in college. I came to a conclusion then, and I haven't moved from it, and that conclusion is that as much as there are questions about how he managed to accomplish it, I believe that Lee Harvey Oswald acted, for lack of a better way of putting it, alone. I do not believe that there were co-conspirators there. Now, I fully understand that when I say that, people get crazy and they get mentally insane. The majority of the American people in 1995 were with me. I've not changed my position on it, and the majority of the American people have. And now, if you poll the American people, then over a half of the American people would say yes, even with the questions, even with the concerns, even with the conspiracy theory. Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, and he had communist sympathies and all these sorts of things. Now, you poll the American people, and I am in the distinct minority in that belief. The distinct minority. People their attitudes have changed about it. Similarly, if you, I don't know, I've seen the research on the aforementioned JFK assassination. I've not seen the research on UFOs, but I'd be willing to believe that it's similar. That if you polled America in the mid-1990s, maybe even to 2000, and you asked the greater part of the United States of America if they believed that we have been visited by alien extraterrestrial life, that a majority of the people would say no, they do not believe that that has happened. Now, I bet you a majority of the people would say yes. This is fascinating to me. I think we've reached a point in human existence where we get very bored with how we manage to live our daily lives. Not everyone on planet Earth, but here in the United States, I mean, we get pretty bored pretty easily, We got it pretty good. Nobody wants to tell you that, but it's true. As bad as modern technology is, as bad as the intraweb is, as much as it is turning our brains into, just basically bowls of grits, we got it pretty good. And we got some, for the majority of, I don't mean to get too philosophical or psychological here at the end of the show, but for the majority of human existence, we spent most of our time just doing the things necessary to survive. Right? I got to go outside and I got to spend a good portion of my day hunting something to eat today. And oh, by the way, if I hunt something and I kill it and it's pretty big, I got to figure out a way to salt it. I got to figure out a way to cure it. I got to figure out a way to eat it quickly, because if it goes bad, I got to find something else. I can't freeze it. I can't refrigerate it. We don't have those sorts of things. And oh, by the way, in addition to finding something to eat, we got to find something to drink. We got to find something to use as fuel for heat, because it gets cold out here in these woods. And now we just got a lot of time on our hands. And even as we fill it with entertaining pursuits, it's not enough. It's not enough to fill our brains. See, at 3449, welcome to the club. Everybody says the same thing. I am shocked you buy the JFK. What JFK story? JFK was an insanely polarizing figure at the time of his death. And there were, as we have had described to us on multiple occasions, there were plenty of groups and individuals that did not like him very much. Tell me what fits the narrative better. I mean, what's your JFK story? I'm shocked that you buy the whatever version of the JFK story that you buy. How about that? 3449. I'm not much of a conspiracy guy. I mean, I am willing to entertain, and I'm willing to accept them as evidence. I'm a logical, fact-based guy. I just put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then I look at what I see, and then what I see tells me the story. And I did the research, and I read the books. I would encourage anyone that wants to explore. I mean, there are untold numbers of volumes written on the JFK assassination. But one of the books that I'd recommend was written by a name that you might remember, Mark Furman, wrote a book called A Simple Act of Murder, which used his detective skills to analyze the JFK assassination. And he came to similar conclusions, but he came at it in a different path. Anyway, just a recommendation from me to you. Summer wants to know if I drink tap water. Oh, gosh, not if I can help it. I mean, I drink filtered water from the tap, Summer. I don't know if that answers the question that you are asking, but I filter my water, but traditionally I don't drink a lot of tap water because I'm crazy sensitive on taste. And I do not care. I've never cared for the taste of tap water. So if I can't get anything filtered, then no, I don't do tap. Summer then writes, now what am I supposed to think about this? Someone tell me where this is going. Summer says, one question, Matt, do you drink tap water? Or no, it actually said, do your drink tap water, but I'll forgive you the typo. And I answered her online. I'm assuming Summer is a girl. And Summer writes, that tells me almost everything I need to know. Love you, brother. Okay, maybe Summer's not a girl, because typically girls don't call you brother. One way or the other doesn't matter. I don't drink a lot of tap water. 1221 says, I wasn't a conspiracy theory person either until COVID and after the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. But here's the thing. So the exposure of those hoaxes, so 1221, think about what you're saying. Do you understand how quickly Trump-Russia got exposed? How quickly COVID got exposed? So if these entities are so good at holding on to secrets, how did those get exposed so quickly and we can't tell the truth about the others? You see the difference? So the exposure of the COVID hoax, the exposure of the Russian collusion hoax is actually proof that these other conspiracy theories are just that, theories, and are not, in fact, real, because otherwise it would bear to reason and logic that these would be exposed as well. Plus, whether you're talking about the moon landing or the JFK conspiracy, the amount of people that would have to be involved, what we need to have is a conspiracy theory Thursday where, during the 6 o'clock hour, I allow you an opportunity to throw out your just wildest conspiracy theories. And you tell me which ones you believe and which ones you don't. Y'all, just a little tip from me to you, and I love how many of you are responding nobody on the phone lines, but I love how many of you are responding on the super text lines. There's a lot of you, and it's hard to keep up. But if you write things like 1487 wrote, that's not true, brother. And I love you, but I don't know what you're referring to something. You're going to need a good reason you, Matt Murphy, aren't running for something. We need you to be our Spencer Pratt. Oh, boy. No, there's certain things that one would do in their lives, earlier in their lives, that you could never possibly overcome in terms of opposition research. And I've done about every single one of them. And despite the fact that I try to be as truthful as possible, there's no reason to flip over all of that. Plus, I don't think I have the intellectual predisposition to serve in that capacity because I have a tendency to tell people exactly what I think about them. And I don't think that serves you very well in politics. Oh, that females don't usually. Oh, I got you. 1487. That makes more sense. 1487 said females don't typically use brother. Well, thank you, sister, for that clarification. 61. The NFL's fake. Birds aren't real. 615-737-9986. It's the Murphy Show on Super Talk. Brian has actually hit on a conspiracy theory that is truly a conspiracy theory that I believe. Brian, I believe your conspiracy theory. And I'll tell you what Brian's talking about coming up if we have time right after the break. I hope we do. If we don't, it'll have to be tomorrow. Right now, I want to tell you about something that's no theory and it's no conspiracy. It is real and it works, and you need to get on it, and it is Contours at contoursllc.com. Contours is red light therapy. It is with the ultra slim body contouring device that truly is life-changing, right? It's earth-shattering. Friends, this works in a way, and Keith and his team can describe it to you. It opens up the fat cell. They described it to me, and I'm too much of a dunderhead to be able to regurgitate it. But the bottom line is this. It helps you lose inches on your body and, by extension, lose weight on your body. And, friends, it's all about those inches and those pounds, and it's all about looking better and feeling more like yourself. And if you're doing the work, if you're trying to eat better, exercise a little more, and you're just not seeing it, you need to get to Contours. $99. That is their Belly Buster special. Plus, you can ask about the Murph, which has an extension of that special involved in it, a package that is just right for you, named after, well, me. I've gone through the process, and, friends, it works. Worked for me. 2.67 inches around my midsection first treatment can work for you. If they don't get 2 inches off the midsection first treatment, that first treatment is free. They also do facials. Ask them about that. ContoursLLC.com or call 615-236-9960. 236-9960. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. U.S. Pest will eliminate the bugs in your life. Whatever bugs you. I mean, frankly, I don't think they do family members, but you can ask J.K. and Erica when you give them a call, and, maybe they'll help you out. One way or the other, they can help you out with those things that truly do bug you and put a damper on your spring and summer living. We're talking about roaches. We're talking about spiders. We're talking about fleas and ticks and everything else that try to get into your yard. They get on your pets, and they just cause an hindrance to your enjoyment of life. Full-service pest control at a 100% money-back guarantee. Termite protection, 100% money-back guarantee for preventative and corrective service, and crawl space service available at U.S. Pest. I strongly encourage you to contact my friends at U.S. Pest. See what they can do for you. J.K. and Erica Bristol, you see these billboards around? They always have an American flag flying over the billboard. I asked J.K. one time why that was. He said, I just love this country so much. And he truly does. They love the United States of America, and they hate bugs, little communist. Call them today, 590-1260, 590-1260, or online at uspest.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 75 plus years and tens of thousands of claims of alien encounters. I doubt they're all insane. It's not a matter of someone who believes or doesn't believe in conspiracy theories. You can believe no other theory and still see that aliens have visited Earth. You honestly, you doubt that tens of thousands of people that have been on planet Earth for the last 75 years could be mentally insane? Are you meeting the same people, 4317, that I'm meeting? Because I've met like 4 or 5 just today that I would think would be certifiable, and I'm not even talking about RJ.
Thank you so much, Matt.
I'm emoting because I know who the winner of Ninkham was.
Oh, really?
You got any fancy music or something that you would play if you were in the mood to celebrate RJ?
Probably, but I don't know if I could pull it up quick enough with the time we got.
You're the big winner today, buddy. Hey, congratulations! RJ won. And you won the YouTube chat poll. You won the other poll. Massive victory for you. That's pretty cool. Congratulations. I feel like it might have been a sympathy vote, but you'll take it.
Hey, you know what? I would like to thank the Super Talk community because, it's nice to get my first win after I think I had like 2. One was a false start. One I couldn't play. And then the other time, I had it in, but I didn't win. So 4th time's the charm.
Well, congratulations. However you can get those victories. They're hard to come by some of these days, but big winner, RJ, on today's Nincompoops in the News. And I just wanted to offer that toward the end of the show. Also this. So here's a conspiracy theory that I actually believe in. Because someone challenged me, you do not believe in any conspiracy? Well, and, I don't know that they're conspiracy. They're just theories. They're theories that we're not being told the true truth. And obviously there are times when we're not being told the truth on any given matter, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're conspiracy theories. They're simply theories that have yet to be proven. So I'm not trying to diminish those that believe in these types of things. But one that I do believe in, I believe that New Coke was a sham, specifically designed to get back to the old Coca-Cola formula. Or what they wanted to do actually was change how they sugared their product. And they knew that if they changed how they sugared their product, just did it and called it Coca-Cola, that people would notice and they'd get mad about it. And so it was an effort to go from, I guess, pure cane sugar to corn syrup, I guess. I think I have that right. Anyway,
the high fructose stuff.
The idea was we go to this new Coke, which sucks. We present it. We know that it sucks, and we bring you back to what is really, really close to the original formula and say, hey, it's Coke Classic, and it's 4 months later, and nobody really notices that it kind of changed in flavor and taste because they thought that the new Coke sucked so bad. I believe that conspiracy theory. All right, that wraps it up for us on this Monday edition. Until next time, friends, for RJ, for Ken Weaver, and the rest of us, so long, everybody.